Yes, North Korean currency does, in fact, come from North Korea.
Indeed.
Like, someone from North Korea like an escaped North Korean person reached out to me once. But that's a different story.
It's pretty cool, though. Hello, everybody!
Hello, everyone.
Bonjour, assalamu alaikum, all that good stuff. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Starting off on a good foot with North Korea.
Indeed. I mean, there was
West Korea.
In unrelated news, Carl's ass broke his old chair.
Oh.
The deed was captured live on air.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit.
Oh, no, you didn't too mad it, did you?
No. So what had happened is I had gotten to the segment with Illuminati, right? And when we were going over the first video that she had complaining about Twitch shit, and I was doing a bit about I don't care about girls that are big, and when I tell you to sit on it, I mean sit on it, and I did the Steve Harvey sit on it, and I came down with such force that the black activated my ass and broke the wheel of a chair.
Well, luckily there is videographic evidence of this for all to enjoy.
It broke in such a way that the leg itself and the wheel splintered off in a nice long segmented piece that if I can find industrial glue strong enough, I could reattach it to the chair.
I think Gorilla Glue is the contender then.
The amount of glue required, you'd be better off just buying a new base for like fucking $40. Pretty cheaper.
That's what my chat said. That's immediately when it happened. They're like, chair stream when?
The major point you'll run into is detaching some of the sections from each other, and that'll be it. What was I say? There was some shit. There was some stuff I was gonna rant about today. I've been completely forgot. Oh yeah, I had to maybe.
Well, shall we?
We had a fight with a 120-pound dog because I was trying to move a barrel of like potting soil and plants.
Bill's had a rough day. And then he burned his hand on gravy.
That pause.
I didn't even eat the gravy.
That pregnant pause chat is what happens when two DMs realize they're talking over each other. Also, you were in a rant about Keemstar's beard.
Oh yeah, like just.
Bill, you can't forget about the racism. It's your best quality.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna eventually reach the stage where it's gonna be like Chronicle. I can just crush a car. We'll be flying in the middle of a lightning storm, and just racism will be radiating out from me.
By the power of Observe.
I'm looking for what Grayskull reference I can make that wouldn't get me banned instantly.
By the power of Blackhead?
By the power of the Grey Riders of South Africa. That one might be too dark.
Yeah. Espionne will probably like it, though.
I expect to see a scalp for every bullet you use. Yeah, that's pretty dark.
Oh, fuck. Well,
to make Judge Holden seem like an aid worker.
Welcome to Pathfinder.
Han, have you seen what aid workers have gotten up to over the last few years? Judge Holden would be a significant upgrade from most places.
Yes.
Judge Holden is blatantly evil.
I don't know what's going on anymore.
Nor do I.
I will say this, like, Court successfully made Judge Holden a character who is like every black person's sleep paralysis demon, a morbidly fat, completely hairless white man who is just cartoonishly evil for no reason, other than he enjoys doing it and thinks that everyone needs to get in line. Props to the man.
Did you give him a southern accent with a foghorn leghorn drawl?
The audiobook does.
Yeah!
I believe he's meant to be he's meant to have like a more of an upper class accent, I believe, but the audiobook unironically gives him like a southern drawl.
Excellent. I didn't know we were talking about Blood Meridian at first.
So be sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're back at it again at Krispy Kreme here at the show. On the Isles, up in episode 35, the Charcoal Waltz. The last one, next week's very special episode, which will just be a more Q&A that day. That will be the celebration of Libation Day, aka Liberation Day. It's a national holiday over here to celebrate the day that the English got around to rescuing the island from the German occupation. Present company, of course, excused from any blame. Isn't that right?
Oh, yeah. I would like to. I I'd like to wish everyone a belated International Workers' Day. Like, you're welcome for that day off you just had.
Yesterday was the 7th anniversary of my ordainment as a priest.
Oh, there you go.
Which has definitely gone splendidly and not had any hiccups in well,
So,
Bill.
is Labor Day just like a holiday in the UK as well?
It's an international holiday established at like the 27th Communist Conference or whatever. I don't know. I'm not that smart. Like, but it's a thing. Like, it comes from international communist movement.
Yeah, because I was in Belgium on Labor Day, and I thought it was awfully ironic that no one did anything on Labor Day. Yeah.
It is a bit
It is now after Labor Day, so no one's allowed to wear white. It's been a dampener on clan recruitment, but there we go. Either pony up the dosh to move up to the Cavaliers or sit the fuck down.
Do you think that's going to stop the white women in Compton? No.
Oof.
They have to peel their skin.
Now that we've successfully pissed off the four corners of the earth.
Now that everyone has managed to be offended.
And in the interim time that we have before the Inuit/Eskimos decide which term annoys them more.
Yeah.
Let's continue with the show. Last we were left off. Last week was a bit of a mixed bag, a small exploration of the tunnels and interpersonal conflict, and a reconvention here at the church. Though sadly lacking our good friend Han here, who was away on business. Welcome back, Han. Good to see you again. Who now has new artwork.
Hello.
Yes. His exact words were, "It will definitely it fits my character more than the art I had, even though you made that art yourself."
Let me open that in a new tab so it's big, so people can see it.
12 minutes in is a new record for me realizing I haven't opened Roll20 yet. But,
well, you know what? You're not alone. Whoops.
Don't worry.
We're here on
level
time.
I was here on time. I just forgot to open Roll20.
Here's the question: how many people are actually level 4 like they should be? Anyone missed out?
No, we've turned low for already. Like
Yeah,
a while
I know.
ago.
That was a while back.
What was you say?
Say,
wait a minute, what?
Gave us like a
Everyone
level
done
up.
it?
Forgot
Another-
to tell us.
Yeah. I
Please
was
now.
gonna say.
You level up when I damn well tell you to.
I believe there's only like one thing I want to add, like still to ours, which is the herbalism things. But I've just not had the time to look at the new stuff quite yet, quite honestly.
Yeah, Spheres of Guile, that was everyone's reaction. It's like, I'll deal with it later.
Yeah,
And,
I hope that's okay.
There's at home, we do allow the use of spheres, it's not mandatory. And I will be allowing people to free retrain into Spheres of Guile stuff. As, of course, it is new material coming out. So if anyone wants to do so, you feel free to do so. However, if you try to force self-combat on me, you can realise that I can be just as fucking deadly as any other killer DM out there. And suddenly, conversations will stop becoming less frequent, and acts of violence far more frequent.
I just want to eat herbs.
Herbs, sure, a likely story.
Yes.
Smoke them if you got them.
I just want to eat my time in peace.
What's that herbal smell?
No!
You've got a lot more time on your hands in prison. Good times.
Bill, check
Good times
the live
indeed.
chat. I will not read that out. Oh, one of the messages from me.
No, that's a black block joke. You're allowed to make those.
Oh.
I don't fucking know what jokes
Please
people
remind me that
make.
the clan uniform currently involves black hoodies and fist. Well, don't forget the red balaclavas.
No, don't show the power of the murderer, DM. Don't do it. No, don't do it. I'm a virgin, please.
Please, my characters have not been killed off before.
I'm going to bring in Saucy for a guest spot, and he can show you how to die.
Oh my god. That would be so mean. You're
Everyone's favourite meat grinder surfer.
Just bring in this like sweet
man
saucy
who
and just
canonically
immediately
only
fucking kill him. Oh.
The man who died so often, we made a joke exhibition match where every time he died, the timeline reset, and he's still the only like canonical death in that timeline now.
Oh yeah, right. Didn't he shoot? Like no, he didn't shoot the thing. It was I think he tricked Bird into shooting something, which then
I don't
backfired
think
on
Bird
everyone
needed to be
else.
tricked into shooting Saucy. I feel like he
Obviously,
did that of
yeah.
his own volition.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually he fares about as well as a Cambodian child in a soccer field.
See, it's funny because the children don't live.
That's the
No,
beauty of a
I'm
Moroccan
scared.
football team. You only have to buy half as many boots. Anyway.
At some point, it stops being football.
Mom, please pick me up. I'm scared.
We've literally pissed away quarter of an hour just making extraordinarily dark jokes that will come back to haunt us in the near future in our careers. I'm going to go back to being chronically unemployed at some point soon anyway.
But Bill, I'm African American. When I do it, it's not hurting my career. It's only helping it.
Oh, you got me
I wanna
there.
go home.
Usually I'm the first to jump to race realism, but there you go. As the team Ikaruga of racism continues to drag everyone down to our level and teabag them with the results, let's actually continue with the matter at hand, shall we? The last we left off, the team was reconvening at the church. There was some consternation. A Udex unit had been called in of all things, and the volatile crystal had been taken for research and recovery, leaving certain people quite emotionally distraught. And the remainder of the people in the location, at the very least, exhausted, with the exception, of course, the bad habits who are, golems that don't really feel pain or exhaustion. Well, it's said even they're a bit worse for wear now. We reconvene with our fellows as some more time has passed, unless anyone has anything in particular they'd like to interject following last week's. Perhaps we should. Who would like to recount other events of last week? Any takers, or shall we just continue?
I will.
Ready? You have the field.
Wonderful. Last when we left off, I rolled a really bad fucking check for my personal stat counter, and two character I made the Yugo persona hang itself upside down like a child because it was too lazy to try and open it like a normal human being, and it got sucked inside of effectively a religious holy bomb. Upon which in the church, the more dominant persona started weeping like a fucking child, as though he is a Naruto character and was just about to talk no jutsu himself into possibly getting killed before his other persona was like, shut the fuck up and just smoke this blunt, bro.
In more broader news, we also discovered something really, really scary under the town, and yes, and have gone to the church to ask God to fuck you. Sorry, I speak in memes. We went to the church to warn the rest of the villagers.
My life is a flat circle of internet references. I want to die.
Did you say my life or my wife? With their accurate.
Both would be. You're not a flat circle. You're a two-dimensional human because you're that thing. It's different.
I can't make the jokes pop into my head. I like to sustain my friendships.
The other day, my child asked me, Papa, what does it's over 9,000 mean? I'm proud.
That's so cute.
Let me tell you something, son.
Back in my day. But yes, there is something very scary and seemingly massive underneath the town. So although the fires are mostly out, the danger is not yet over. And we kind of... Han was not present last week, so we didn't want to go ahead with fighting what is probably going to be a pretty significant boss battle or some sort of encounter without Han present.
Faust can puppeteer the body. He can't puppeteer it that well.
Yeah.
Because whatever was down there sounded pretty serious.
Also, I am sorry if I don't sound great today. I got a little bit of a cold, which Bill.
I had previously kicked my ass. But
Thank you so
like
much
a
for
day
the
or
gift.
two.
Yes, well.
It lasts like a day or two. It's just like real bad, like sinus flu.
Yeah, it's not a skill issue. It is a skill issue.
Skill issue both to the sickness and to the puppeteering. Get on my level.
Well,
yes, something looms in the Underdark.
And I think that brings us to where we're now at in the church.
Yep. Eris is outside, asleep, next to Gobshite. She's just had it. She's just gonna take her nap.
Everyone below a certain height is just kind of just congregating themselves around the largest person in the field.
And the last thing that was being done before the next thing I was going to do is the sheriff smelt the dank kush.
Oh yeah, didn't a wizard appear?
Yes, the kush was so dank that a weed wizard appeared.
The Veed Wizard did make a slight appearance. He will be around. I will tell you this not for free because people have a very good spellcraft in this party. The Wizard Veed does indeed summon the Veed Wizard.
Let me see.
The actual efficacy of the Veed Wizard remains to be seen. As the old saying goes, I didn't say I was powerful, I said I was a wizard.
Meanwhile,
That's it.
Do we have the floor bill?
Okay, so we want to check. Bad you don't get to pick your own fucking nickname, even if you do want to be Moonroofer.
See, I was wondering if you noticed that, Bill, because I saw when he put it the first time.
Don't get me wrong, Moonroof is pretty good, but you don't get to pick your own damn nickname.
Just in for $20 from Mechanicus on duty, saying, speaking of the danger, not quite being over yet. Put every party member and named NPC on a chart and roll the dice. That character dies.
Oh, shit.
Let's see. How many? I think it's 75 people on this thing. I had
oh my god. Oh, this could be really... This could be very
Normally this would be a $50 one, but you know what? Yeah, I'll give this one.
Wait, Bill,
now and then you got to give them something.
Oh,
nice.
Nice. First of all, nice. Second of all, would Mr. Chubbs and Albert count into it too?
In the interest of not having Zermes turn up to my house with a firearm, no. I'm the latter. Chubbs, on the other hand, Chubbs isn't a person.
True.
Like Chubbs, you got to remember, familiars are not quite people. They are summoned here. They serve a higher calling, and of course, all the numbers to roll on 1d100, I of course roll 69, because of course. This place is full of
there's fucking
memes never
Eris's
ending.
lore. She found Mr. Chubbs in the forest and was like, "You're my friend now," and just dragged him along everywhere now. Very good lore.
Okay, Han, because you were absent last week, you have the floor in terms of role playing. Follow the man's lead as I count through these. I'm only up to the number 30.
Well,
also, I
unfortunately,
believe it was mentioned that I still had to do a D10,000 roll in one of the chats.
Yeah, in the general chat they mentioned that people want you to do a D10,000 roll because you weren't here last time. Now, if that will happen, I wonder.
Indeed. So, Bill, would you like me to roll the D10,000 roll then?
Yes, please.
Very well. Let's see what we get. 1704.
Probably a good
year.
A good year for at least one of your countries.
A wonderful year for the people of Ireland.
A lot of people died. A lot of people died.
So don't forget to like the stream. That would be very cool. Thanks.
Oh, well, only if you like it, but yes, it does help us out a lot in,
No, in fact, if you don't like it, you should spite like this. Just so you can be reminded of how much.
Yeah, just like it out of spite.
I mean, a dislike is still interactions. You just won't get the streams recommended anymore. Which will just recommend it to more people that will actually like it.
Caster thinks that he'll melt if he gets too close to a fire. Huh.
Han, about that hand of yours that has a fire elemental.
You may experience some tallow-related instances if you remember the early days of Dwarf Fortress, where the meta was indeed to set your dwarves on fire, burn off all their fat, and turn them into skinless killing machines.
Yeah, that's rather awkward with Faustus, the fire elemental inhabiting my hand.
You feel like your hand is melting slightly. It's a bit concerning. You
Melting.
feel like your regeneration could offset it, but it is like you can't help but feel like
uncomfortable.
Are your hands now uneven since Faustus set up shop? You're starting to become like self-aware about it.
Ugh.
They've become like squishy and moldable, like warm wax.
Meanwhile, as he's dragging his crying body. Oh, good. You're finally awake. Fucking bastard gets a goddamn fire elemental to pallet his body form and suddenly thinks he's too good for the waking world. Excuse me, chef. Oi, you, farmer.
Yes.
Humble, just so you know, because you were being piloted by Faustus for that duration, you treat yourself as if you'd had a full day's rest.
Excellent. Finally awake.
There you go. You're finally awake.
Bloody hell. Back in the land of the living.
Former man.
Hmm? Who are you talking to?
The farmer at this point.
Oh, the farmer guy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Right. Husband
Martin.
of. Yeah.
The one you tried to
Samson, rather.
flirt with.
Yeah. There's a little bit. Yeah. Just a little bit.
If your character had a skirt, she would have been flashing it.
Yeah, of course.
Samson slowly eases himself to his feet, where he towers above the majority of the party that aren't named Baz. How can I help?
He lifts by what would be the collar of a normal person and presents to him the crying black man.
I see.
Here's a simple answer. 1/3 of us trapped in a stone. The stone was a chaotic bomb found in the Underdark. That's his entire village. His village, my victims, his victims, and many people he cares about. Distraught.
The farmer is weighing his options as to how he can help, as he is a farmer and not a psychiatrist. And not a terribly great, even armchair psychiatrist, not terribly great considering how badly his marriage is going. So you can see like puzzlement on his face as he's like, you can see the equations flashing before his eyes as he's trying to figure out what precisely to do in the situation. So also he's wondering what you meant by like. It's a look as if to say, does he want like help or work or food or what, or I don't know.
Emotions
All these images like flashing through his eyes. Does he want wheat? Does he want wheat? I don't sell wheat.
He lifts up the booth and starts pushing him towards him. Let him in.
Ah, I see. No, I don't. That's a lie. I don't.
You have sadness, yes?
One more than the average person?
Yugal
indicates that was a lie.
Yugal is his center of emotion. He's not good to anyone like this. He needs to cope. And smoke. You need a smoke too. You getting me?
I was trying to find some fucking sad boy to fix now too. God damn.
Half this party's got severe problems. I'm not.
You're noticing now?
Oh no, I'm noticing.
But listen, Baz is a perfectly functional member of society.
Can you make that icon bigger
working
again?
Man, simple as.
I'll give it a go, I guess. I haven't smoked this since I was a kid.
Nice.
He'll kind of meander towards things, not inside though. I don't want to stain the upholstery.
Fine. Respect yourself for your god. Then, on the psychic connection, someone's getting off the line. It's not going to be Eris.
Oh no, I've been off the line the whole time. You didn't invite me back in, and she wouldn't have accepted to be back in.
Don't you worry. Let me help you out with that. Bill, what do I roll to just spit out the ectoplasm?
That would be. Do you have the self-control stat or probably power?
Let me check.
Any physical skill there.
And Eris has been booted off and has not been invited in at all, so she's staying off.
It's like watching a Mumble server unfold in real time. It really is.
Oh, that's flashback.
I feel so much better.
Okay, that is a prodigious display of power. That's a nat 20 in power to try and displace ectoplasm from your body. It looks like fucking Armored Core Primal Armor going off at this point. You just start aggressively crying it out.
Is my 420 lagging? I didn't see his roll land on the screen.
Me neither.
Oh, it's on the...
it's on Whisper, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's stuck on Whisper.
I was about to restart.
I've never used the Whisper system. It always gets... Whenever I try to use it, it always gets stuck.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. Turn it off.
I think it's a toggle option somewhere.
Not 20 for a total of 36.
Okay. Shame you're not a sparking character. I would have let you use that for like climb or something. But you kind of sneeze prodigiously to such a degree that it kind of shakes the windows a little bit. There's a chorus of bless you, bless you, bless you.
Finally,
you look down your handkerchief. Ugh.
It's gonna cast blessed corpse on the tissue and just kind of toss it away. Right.
You're no longer congested.
How are we doing, Elaine? Long time no see.
Same old yourself.
Pretty well,
You passed your hip flask.
Big sip.
Just to say, Baz, it's been a real dog dick afternoon.
Yeah, it certainly has. How are the other scouts doing?
Thank you for that deep cut, but alright.
Absolute dog shit, every single one of them. The Delmar brothers beside themselves, like it.
Yeah.
We've been out there doing work, but, then you got little arms.
Understandable. No casualties, though, right?
None that we know of. Everyone's accounted for. Most of them are out the city.
That's good, honestly.
It's one of those, but they're going to be called in for it, the cleanups. We only have Elaine, who is of indeterminate gender at this point. Gender is Burger King crown. We're inclusive in the show. Takes out a pocket watch, checks it. We're back on digging shift in about half an hour. Click. It's closed. Elaine closes it, puts it back in a waistcoat pocket.
Anything I can help you with, by the way?
I wouldn't worry about it, Baz. You've got your own lot to look after.
Alright.
I've got mine, but we'll make it through. This isn't our first rodeo here.
Yeah, and considering where I'm most likely going, I don't want to, take any of the boys off you. They're in safer hands with you, put it that way.
Must be a pretty bad shindig if you'll have to go through it in the middle of this.
Yeah, but, there's always work to be done. And, frankly, it beats sitting around up north doing fuck all, looking at waves.
And now after this one, I think we might all be overdue for a bit of watching the waves. Why don't get the surfboard out?
Yeah, a bit of downtime can hurt, but, there's a city to rebuild, so...
Yeah,
many hands make full work and all that. Yeah.
So, hang in there, Tin Pot. Elaine will knock against the kneecap of your armor. Don't get too overheated. We've seen too many people cooking these things today.
Don't you worry. I'll be alright. Oh, by the way, have you heard anything of the Cardinal?
Nothing yet. Exorcisms take a while, but we're starting to worry, to be honest. We'll see how things go. We'll be sending people down that road in some points here anyway.
Yeah, if you can maybe send a few people down there, have a look. If anything's up.
There's half a team down there as we speak, but
yeah,
just getting reports back. The smog's so thick. Elaine will point out the window. It's falling down like rain. Precipitation layers caught it all, and with the balloons going down, it's all getting caught up. Falling, all the sludge falling down. The rivers are going to be choked with the stuff for years. And send out the dredges.
Yeah, and that's a tough job around these parts, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to be a real fucker. You and your boys might want to get scarce out of here, though. From what I've been told from the higher ups, they know it's going to be a real messy cleanup, so they're going to be bringing in every churchy they can, every holy symbol thumper from here, the ends of the earth. They're going to be brought in here to help, turn back the tide of the undead. And then I'm told they're even bringing in some of the, the B words. He's referring to the bards. Bards is a kind of a dirty word in this civilization, as they're they are known as just being a bunch of vagabond assholes. They're treated the same way they were in 2nd edition, where they were extremely dangerous but necessary.
Right.
You need to get the harps of building out and start dragging out the carcasses of the buildings, and we want to make sure that everyone, especially with your team. I mean, you've got, he'll make kind of a zombie-like motion with his hands. If he gets caught in the crossfire, he'll turn to dust.
Yeah, it'd be a real shame, wouldn't it?
If he killed everyone for making a tit of himself, there'd be no fucker left.
Yeah.
Across the hall, he projects his voice. There's only 2 of us right now, asshole.
Man, I wish it was less than that.
Fuck you too, Baz.
Stick around the city. You'll be lucky to have 0 left.
Might have to go out and about then.
Nah, trust me. Even you with your troll blood, there's some people in the churches going to have some very wild forms of turning. There's one bloke who can control hippos with it.
Huh.
And he nods. He makes this kind of, it's like a weird, like he gets out a pen and paper, and kind of just draws it, and like what you're given is just literally a monster. Like it's the only way to describe it. It's literally just a monster with autism.
So it's like a horse, but much worse. Crossbred with the swine?
Wide horse.
It's like a big water pig. Only it's like the size of a small house and can bite you in half.
Water pig?
Yeah, that doesn't seem too great.
Like everyone in the room is like hearing this description and like picturing different animals, and none of them are hippos. Guess what? Hippos don't make any fucking sense.
Yes.
Well, I actually thought of water bears, which is very different. Yes.
No, don't worry. If you want to fight giant tardigrades, they exist, and they're like the size of hippos, and they are seriously dangerous.
Wait, I like water bears you put in space and they don't die?
Yes.
So those big protein
extremophiles, yes.
There are, lest we forget, there are literally protein strands in space that have formed such large links, they're basically life, and no one likes to talk about them. And I only had only seen one picture of them, and I can't find that picture anymore.
Wait, how much protein would one of those things have if you eat it?
A lot. It's like a man of war, but like the size of a football field.
What is a man of war?
That's a type of jellyfish.
Technically, it's a jelly vomit being, but Siphonophores aside, boys and girls.
Eat space protein.
Space protein aside, before we digress any further.
Sorry.
Oh, by the way, Elaine, you knew Rita, right?
Yeah, we'll run to Rita sometime now, but she's a bit weird, but she's a good person.
Oh, I take it you've not really heard what happened to her, have you?
It should be reiterated. I don't think anyone's heard about what's happened.
No,
I think kind of bland
not
slightly.
mentioned that quite yet.
Elaine's about to get broken the bad news.
Yep.
Well, I'm afraid that
He's getting gas sentence before he goes.
Look, we've been doing some investigations on it, and we've got a rough description of who might have done it. We've been wanting to pursue the trail. I'll basically just give her like
describe
a
the
rough
bastard.
outline.
Describe the bastard for me. I want to get the son of a bitch.
Working man working in a lumber mill, probably a bit up north from here. Very strong. However, not very deft, shall we say. Handyman, but not very martially adept. My guess is that there might have been some coercion involved in the murder. But if you could just send some blokes out there to, just have a look, try and pursue the trail, see if you can find anything. We've got some.
I'll make sure everyone I can get to will know.
Yeah, we've got to clear out the sun peep underneath, which is well, somebody's got to do it. I just don't want the trail to go cold, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, cutting off speed out there.
Thank you.
Don't let the bastards grind you down. We'll find them. Description you're given, can't be that many out there. No, everyone knows the tradies, and they stick together. But if they think one of their own's going AWOL like this,
oh, one important detail, Elaine.
Yeah.
The person seemed to really have it out for Faye. Used a lot of cold iron as well. Even
people can afford that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's bloody expensive, and most of the tradies these days can't even afford their tools.
As a matter of fact, would you mind holding on to this? I shall hand her the cold iron nail that I found all the way back in the other lumber mill.
Gillian will whistle. Some bad mojo on that thing.
Yeah.
Practically smell it. Gillian will take out a jackknife and like flick it and kind of run the point of it down, and there's like visible sparks. You might want to get a box of that thing. I'll take it throw it to some people, but there's a lot of bad juju at work with this thing. Most of them doesn't hold the charge like that anymore.
Interesting.
You've got, I swear, that's bad news follows you around.
Yeah, it does.
Looks to the part.
Yep. Ever since my tavern burnt down and I cursed the gods, and I just wanted a more interesting life, I sort of got what I wanted, right? But it backfired.
You gotta be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with what you scream at a cloud at 12 in the evening on a Saturday night.
Mate, you won't be the last person to scream something at the clouds after a fire, especially after today. I think you and half the city.
Yeah, I know what it's like. It's rough.
So we'll get these people back on their feet.
Yeah.
Elaine's watch will ping. Duty calls. The boys are out there. Come on, boys. Dermal and Pudge will form up. And the four of them will egress.
Alright, lads. You stay safe out there. Take care of yourselves.
Using you too, Baz.
Give them a thumbs up.
Zoom. They will exit via the slightly damaged wall next to them. And they will actually use the discarded club of Gobshite to get over to an adjacent area and disappear from view.
Meanwhile, back with the farmer. Alright, Samson, have you been possessed?
To Samson shows very visible, like he's possessing that he's keeping a good face, but he's like one of his nostrils is bleeding. That's not normal.
You got yourself some latent trauma there, or you just a normal bleeder?
I'll be fine, just give me a moment. I'm not used to this kind of thing.
Smoking?
Not neither.
I'm
There's a lot
going
of hacking, coughing, checking.
I'm going to take it that your wife was the smoker.
No, we couldn't both afford to keep it up. Too expensive for the farm.
Quite. Oh, 1 second. The skeleton will fall limp. While still crying, the ghost's hands will lift up and plunge into his chest and take out the qatar, just as it did with the wife. Look down at the hands.
Okay. What you find in there is not the usual tar that is resultant from smoking. The kush doesn't have as much, but in this case, the bigger issue is you on as well as the usual gunk. There's little particles of something. It's very coarse.
You recognize that?
He kind of shrugs. It's like the consistency of glass.
Reach over to the skeleton body, pull out the knapsack, cast scoop, put vial of container in scoop. Gotta confirm with no mark for that one. You want me to pull out more, or do you want to get this over with?
I'll be fine. He's actually kind of clutching aside where that happened. Just a second. He kind of just like sits himself down, passes the joint back, and just kind of like just props himself up. Just give me a bit, and he'll just kind of sit there, letting the ash rain down them just for a while, and just some placidity starts to move through him, and eventually nods back off to sleep because he's still running on fumes.
He'll sigh. The skeleton will shoot back up. He'll take Elutum's body and throw it at him.
Whose body, sorry?
To Samson's.
No, who's being thrown at Samson? Sorry.
The ghostly form. The skeleton is basically going to take the ghost form and throw it at him to put him in the same square.
Okay. If you try to just like cram him in there.
Yes.
Okay.
Without
You
touching
can do
him.
so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can do so.
He throws him into his square and lets the two settle.
There's something very uncomfortable about it that you can't place. It's like an itch in the right side of your chest. It's like sitting. It's like laying on something, like you're laying on your keys or something.
Is it possible? Is it possible to push this substance out as I just took some out?
You attempt to push on it, and after a while, it just hooks on something.
Is it possible to see inside of his body with a heal check and figure out what it is?
You can attempt it. You have got a certain amount of intangibility, so you do have some leeway. You won't have the full range of vision, but you get you be able to like kind of grope around inside of his ribcage and see what precisely is causing the obstruction. Whatever it is near. It appears to be near his lungs.
Is there another possible role other than the heal that can be used to detect what this is?
Whichever you feel would be appropriate. I'll penalize or benefit the role as appropriate.
Nature.
Yeah, look.
That's horrible.
It's some kind of obstruction. There's something like. It's around. It's just before the lung, where it branches off.
What'd you got inside of you, Samson? That's a mystery that I'm gonna figure out right fucking now. I'm not made for this shit. I don't care about people, I don't care about anything. Oi, witch.
She's asleep.
Yes, and outside. Also not very polite.
Gobshite will wake up.
Hell, big fella. Don't you look better?
Oh, I didn't realize you'd gone inside.
Most of his injuries are healed. Yes.
Unfortunately, I don't have more food for you. Big guy's belly went boom when he put something bad in it. Trust his friends to try and loot everything, and he forgot I'm the thief.
I'm sorry.
For hurting us? Why? Wasn't your fault.
You look at him, I mean, like, one of his right eye that was possessed, quote unquote, is still, like, badly damaged in places. Like, there's still ruptured blood vessels in it, and it's bulging in the socket wrong. It's like, it literally looks like someone worked maybe with, like, a 2x4. And it's been clearly, like, slow going in terms of healing.
But it is healing, right?
Very, very, very slowly, but I'm not sure how much of this is going to... Some of this might be permanent.
Oh no.
And you distinctly, he doesn't have much vision in that eye anymore.
We should get him a cool, like, pirate eye thingy.
Oh.
Well, there is the big guy, the Samson fella around the corner. He's knocked out asleep, with the rest of this man's head inside him. Could you be a good sport and give an eye on him? You know, make sure he keeps breathing. I've got something I need somebody to go analyze. Unfortunately, this girl's asleep.
Gobshite will very gingerly pick up both of the short people from him, and like as gently as he possibly can, just ease them down onto some soft patches of grass.
Or it's just
Some of these
dead
softer bushes.
asleep.
And he'll limp his way. Like he's moving on all fours because it's clearly like he's still not like 100%. But he will like he'll pluck the balloon from the awning where it was stuck, and he will like very carefully tie it around what appears to be like one of the little trellis work pieces next to the entrance. With a remarkable amount of dexterity for someone of his size. Considering this creature is the size of an elephant. But he will like gingerly like knuckle down, bring himself low to the ground, almost like a lizard, and just kind of ease himself down. Just completely silently watch Samson, making sure he stays breathing.
He'll start walking a pace forward before he starts mentally trying to think about how his other half uses it. God damn it, why don't I ever ask him questions? Alright, let's see how he does this. Just roll back the eyes and just... And he starts willing himself to try and levitate off the ground, but it's visibly hard since it's meant to be a ghost ability and he's possessing what is not a ghost. And he just starts flinging his body forward with the propulsion that he normally uses, attempting very hard to use his normal ghost teleportation, but it looks more like, from his fisheye view, the effect of the evil from Evil Dead.
Oh, should we just like, you just dolly zoom to the location?
Yes. He's
the Job brothers just kind of both look to you and then look back to the exterior, shaking their heads. Like, fucking hate undead people.
Brings himself to a stop at the church, but he doesn't have fine control, so he just flops on the ground.
As you've just witnessed a man Gmod his way through the church. The sheriff does not look very impressed. He was packing his pipe to go out for a smoke and has just seen that.
He'll get up, just
give him a look and see. First time.
Is it always like this?
Yeah.
He's shaking his head, like packs his pipe and goes out for a smoke. He's fucking getting paid enough of this. He's all.
You got an extra one laying around. I want to join.
He'll hand you a spare pipe.
Excellent
Thing. So leave mine.
Thank you.
I'm gonna clean the rim out. It's got some white shit in it. I don't even know what it is. I was gonna get it from narcotics, but we got burned alive.
Bill, can I sprinkle a bit of white ash into my pipe?
You may. It already looks like someone has, but it might be just some illicit substances.
I'm going to call this warging. He starts warging back towards them. If you want some dank kush, I left the pipe with Samson. He shows the vial. I need to figure out what this is.
The visitor will just like lean up. I could tell you if you wish.
Oh, could you? I was about to ask the rock.
He's like put himself on like the steps and like pushed himself up off of his feet. His little slippers like kicking as he tries to keep balance. I happen to be specialized in these things.
Wonderful. 1 second. Walks back over. He manually puts his hand onto Samson's chest to make sure that his lungs are still pumping. And in between pumps, reaches into his chest, tries to physically grab the obstruction, but does not pull. Can he physically touch it?
Yes. There is some kind of like it's like something's clipped on around his bronchial. It's like physically looped around the tube of his bronchial. That's between the trachea and the lung. For those kids at home who haven't done their junior high biology.
Wait, on the outside or the inside?
Inside. It's the tube that goes between your trachea and your lung.
Yeah, but like inside or outside of the tube?
It is outside.
Okay.
While putting his hand inside his chest,
it does have some movement. Weirdly enough, it can move left and right very slightly.
While keeping his hand inside of his chest, he levitates the bottle over using mechanics of rope trick, and then pours out the contents of the bottle inside of the magic scoop. Mind telling me exactly what that is that's inside of his chest?
Pardon me, Gobshite. He kind of motion his hands and very gently ease the creature back with some months of telekinesis. Thank you, Gobshite. He'll eye this crystalline powder. Well, looks like ground glass. Some kind of crystal powder.
So what? The man's got
regular rock crystal.
So the man's got pica or what?
No. I suspect he may have breathed it in at some point, some accident perhaps. It might be. I know a lot of farmers suffer from it. If they're trapped in a silo for very long, they tend to get problems with powder in the lungs.
Well, I'm touching a giant mass, and it feels like it's hooked around his breathing parts, and I don't want to pull out.
He'll put his ear. He'll take his hat, put his ear to his chest. It's like, 1 moment, please. He'll swish his hand and reach into his hat and take out a pair of spectacles and look. Quite peculiar. There's a small metal band looped around his lung.
I suppose I get it off.
He'll pass you the spectacles. And you see, and with the spectacles, you can see through the flesh and see what appears to be an ornate ring with a gem in the center, with a relief of some kind. It's a bit blurry, so you can't quite tell what it is, but it's like someone's taken a signet ring and clipped it around his bronchial. It's very unsettling. Like someone as large as DeSampson is, like the bronchial is straining against the piece of metal, and it appears to be made of gold.
feel like doing some surgery with it. You can have the rest of the weed if you need it.
No, thank you. My hands are steady enough. But I fear with the manner of device we are dealing with here, then we may not want to.
Magical possession, attempt to control, his wife got kinky one night.
Something like that. It's a form of binding. It may be so. It may be from some sort of contract. If I had to hazard a guess.
Contract with who?
Who knows? Could be anyone. We very much risk the lives of both ourselves and the entire Samson family if we rush into these things. I fear you will have to take it up with him himself.
That's a lot easier than you actually think it is, but that's not the person I'm concerned about with the name Samson.
I only know a few people around here, I'm afraid. And the names, only from the scholarly art of census-taking, but the people there are a bit far abroad from what my expertise covers.
He clears his throat. Does anyone want to tell him about the bitch maid to Samson?
There's an eerie silence of no one wanting to touch that one with a barge pole.
He looks back over at the wizard. That's the Samson I'm talking about. Short, scary, body like a coil. Could probably decapitate somebody if I wasn't undead. As much as she does not like any of us and definitely doesn't like me, I respect a killer when I see one.
The wizardly arts are my only real pursuit, I'm afraid, that and herbalism. So I'm not really familiar with it, but something like that. To put that on a person safely and have it not kill them within a few days is someone of remarkable power. Especially something of that value. I shudder to think the very fascia of the ring itself, it's a singular cut gem, cut far finer than any mortal hand could do.
I like this big lug. You know, there's a lot of things you don't get to do when you're dead. One of the things I forgot was the final life of farming. Used to be a farmhand. I also didn't have the last name to Fogby. Something this dumbass gave me as a punishment.
You'd be surprised. A lot of people in the industry these days, they're people of your persuasion in many fields. If you pardon the pun, of course.
Assassins don't usually do the work because we enjoy it, although the game between me and my god, something that got out of hand. Didn't intend for it to happen.
A hand with a trowel and a hand with a knife are as close to one another as one can be.
Still, he asked the man for help. The man gave him help without offering anything in return. I feel obliged. If it wasn't for this goddamn collar. He carefully uncoils his hand around it, and also, using just a small amount of ectoplasm, tries to pull as much gunk from the rest of his lungs and body as possible while pulling out the other spirit.
There's a remarkable amount of debris in his lungs, and there's some old kind of powdery gunk residue as well. You suspect that You suspect that Samson may have had a grain silo at some point, because there is definitely the residue of having run one. And you've seen firsthand what a powder explosion in a grain silo can do. There's an entire section of the city that's currently pounded flat by the explosion of one. Mm-hmm. So to be sat in one for that long, well, you want to talk about asbestosis. Very similar beast. This man is not in the best of health despite his stature.
In one swing.
Wibble Slinger. Do you know if that ring is magical, by any chance?
Certainly too finely made to be otherwise. Though, unfortunately, it resists any attempt at divination from what I can see. At least mine. And I'm well versed in the art. I'll take another puff of his pipe.
In one motion, he'll take the ghost and the debris and slam the ghost into the skeleton and kick it over the Baz. Like, forcefully kick it over the Baz, like he's trying to punt his head.
Clunk, 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 clunk. It hits a balloon.
As for the debris, can you divine anything else in this gunk?
One moment. He'll kind of run he'll run his fingertips over the gunk in your hands, and like the sensation is bewildering. His touch is even lighter than yours, and you are intangible. Strange, very strange. This doesn't add up at all. This is crystal glass. This was made by well-measured hands, but ground down. And I would suspect no one would do this to themselves unless he's been attacked by someone in the past. But
I am going
this
to
deeply seated doesn't make sense.
I'm going to resist the urge for the joke. So, someone assaulted the dear man. Why?
Goodness knows. Being a farmer from the northern provinces, who knows? The northern parishes can be particularly vicious these days. And in the olden days, even worse. It's only one small river away, but life up there is still a frontier. The lizard folk and some of the other more vicious locals. I can only think of a few places more worse to live in the Isles, and that's only the mountains and the southern desert.
He'll cast Scoop again, put more material in a bigger bottle and throw it in the knapsack. I'm gonna show that to his wife.
You should be my guest, sir. If you need me, you know where to find me. And he will disappear in a puff of smoke. In the shape of a weed leaf.
I just look over to the sheriff, as if to say, can you believe this guy?
I know, right?
Wibble slingers.
He'll turn around and face the...
Everyone needs a gimmick, I guess.
He'll turn around and face the sheriff. Saw that, lawman? Stop berating the dead. We try our best when we can be fucking bothered.
Everyone needs to know the limitations.
We're dead. We don't have limitations except from our own imaginations.
Well, it should be 6 feet under, ideally.
Yeah, well, you didn't get caught in the middle of the crossfire between a god and his mistress.
Not far off, eh, Baz? He'll nudge you in that kind of like awkward uncle way that the sheriff does to people.
Yeah.
No, believe you me, Sheriff. You had to be there to really believe this shit. Unfortunately, one of the ones of us that could have explained it best is not here right now.
Well, as for this town's been destroyed like 37 times since I've been in the academy. I've seen a few things. He'll go out. He'll like relight his cigarette because it's broken in so many places. It needs to be frequently relit.
Well, I'll try you for this one. As he picks up the skeleton face and just slaps him awake. Wake up!
You just... Why am I in the skeleton?
Because I put you in a skeleton.
And I have a meme for this. Never mind, the minute's passed.
Well, Cardinal. Well, my good friend, like I tried to tell the Cardinal, once upon a time, this jackass, as his god calls him, L'Esprit, gave him a task. Figure out who's been threatening his village.
All right, listen, pal, I'm gonna have to stop you right there before we continue. I know not to mess with a sex goddess next time. I wish you the best of luck with that. but I'm gonna go have a smoke elsewhere. Good luck.
The sheriff shoots you the ugliest look you've ever seen, Baz. He's like, you fucking abandoned me in this, you son of a bitch.
Right.
But he's like, look, you just fucking like dust clouded out of there. Like, listen.
Oh.
I've heard a million stories. I've heard a million more. Listen, if you want help with the license thing for being, he'll make the same like spooky undead motion that everyone's been making to describe you. I'll be my guest. I'll write the commendation of myself. You did a good thing here, but just leave some things to folks' imagination. They get these people. We're island folk. We mind our business. We feel like we're intruding if we learn certain things about a person too early. We've got a few cultural hang-ups,
Makwa, he has a point. And put me down.
Okay. And he'll physically throw him on the ground with force.
Goddamn, why am I louder on Aiden's mic than on my own? Sorry about that.
Point is, Sheriff. He's Lesprey. I'm Makwa. I represent his shattered freedom. He represents his goddess's will. The part of us that's missing is everything good about him. Right now, I'm responsible for all of it. And this guy made a wish. He didn't want to feel shame about what he did. Unfortunately, his goddess likes punishment, and so she took his pain and put it into the people that he was responsible for. And they wanted justice, and I wanted revenge.
Have you considered seeing a resurrectionist?
Yes, and he ruffles into the bag, produces the papers. We're already legal. Point is, I've lived not nearly as long as he has, and I've seen some things. Frankly, I understand why he likes you people. And I don't mean you people as you people, I mean humanity. I once told my god that
what did you think I meant by you people? He looks down and it's like, I'm... Like police or something, like guards.
He'll pantomime the motion that he just did.
All living folk. Well, mate, that's the thing about living folk. Most folk are living. Well, I guess technically speaking, most of them ain't. But I'm getting hung up on credentials here. Yeah, just word of advice, word to the wise. People around here, they mind their business. If you respect that, and in kind, you'll get along fine. People here are simple folk. They don't like to complicate themselves. And least of all, like, when you start telling people your whole shindig, when you start getting into theology and personal politics, some folk get hang up. I know there's some real, what's the word? Seven penitent types kicking around the city. You need to be careful of those. Get yourself into hot water. Someone pulls a knife on you and that kind of stuff. The weird folk around here. People who take real exception to someone of your mortal disposition showing up on the doorstep, for instance. Be careful out there. Not every place out here is a friendly place.
Why do you think I'm still around? This man was a diplomat when I first met him. Now he can kill as good as I can.
As they say, time makes monsters of us all. And he'll just pat against the holster that has gone from being a piece of contraband. He took off a would-be pirate to being like something he's now got strapped to his hip.
He'll physically offer him the booth.
I'm fine. I'll stick to pipe tobacco. Anything else gives me hives. So that doesn't do a thing for me. Just makes me forget my way around, and I like to be able to turn my way around by the feeling of through my boots. You ever get that? I suppose it's kind of hard when you're levitating and all that. You hit towards your levitation.
I'm not the one levitating. That's him. I don't.
The voices are kind of coming from the same neck of the woods here, son. You're gonna have to cut me some slack here.
He'll physically point to the face.
Okay.
Blue eye means him. Red eye means me. And if they're ever flashing white, that means somebody's yelling but doesn't want to be heard.
Oh, it's like a semaphore. Okay. He's written that down. I will forget, and you will have to. I'll beg your apology at the time, but don't worry. Get out there, yeah. Church's Guild is trustworthy sort. No. But it's gonna take things will take time. The island takes things at its own pace. Time flows weird here. Same with space. You know, you want to make sure you get yourself plenty of time to walk around this island. And there are times when a walk from here to Anvil takes 5 minutes. Sometimes it takes 5 years. Plan accordingly. Not many folk will tell you that, but don't like to acknowledge it.
Kind words for a sheriff.
You kind of have to.
Even though you were insulting us 5 minutes ago with our party member.
Ha.
Still, fuck you, Baz.
Me and Baz go back a little further than you and I. So, you know, I try to extend, hand of greeting to new folk. Baz and I knew Baz's parents. Well, knew one in a more professional sense than the other. Given, he'll make a motion to hands. And which you notice that in case of Baz's hands are larger than they should be for his stature because of his troll blood. I'm not going to spoil which one was which.
I wasn't going to ask you to.
Speaking of trolls, I think you and your boys made a good friend there. He'll put notion towards Gobshite. He's not usually that calm around people.
I blame this one. I used to be
dare fucking disrespect Gobshite.
I used to be a lot more hostile.
I'm saying this out of character. Eris is still asleep.
Gobshite's not so hostile. He's a big sweetheart, but really, he's shy.
Gonna disrespect Gobshite in front of me.
Gobshite, why are you even out here anyway? You meant to be in your place under the bridge, over in the north side.
You don't
Gobshite
remember,
just kind of
Sheriff.
grumble quietly.
You don't remember, Sheriff. The man this body used to belong to, and the ghost part will lift up the helm of the asbestos suit and show that it's the dead Paramancer's body.
The sheriff will reach out and lower the visor again.
Yeah, my party did a number on him. Used him, sacrificed him. Then the spirit that now possesses Baz's hand gave us the body to use, and I need someone to purify it.
Now, when you say sacrifice, I feel like I might need some clarification on what you mean by that.
Ritualistic.
Don't worry, it was kosher.
Yeah, it's kosher. Everybody blessed it, even.
Baz, I'm going to need you to roll to be a bluff check. That is
Mr. Chubbs ate on that, actually. Mr. Chubbs is just sitting there fucking listening to this
you just
bullshit.
pick up the frog and look at it really worried to like bail him out if he rolls badly.
Yeah.
Wow, they both rolled the same thing.
Baz, benefit from glibness.
What does glibness
So would that be like 35 or something?
35, yes, and you cannot be detected by Zone of Truth. That's Baz.
To be
Yeah,
fair,
I've known that kid since he was like this high, and he'll like point towards his ankle. Like, I was there at his confirmation in the Church of Cathanal, and I know he's on the up now.
to be fair, he was getting curb stomped inside of the fountain and drowned, so technically it doesn't exactly count as necromancy. He was just using his body as a conduit for the Ignis.
He had it coming.
Yes.
You notice that as you look at the sheriff, like every time you look backwards and forwards from him to Baz, like the pipe is suddenly a cigarette, and then there's a pipe again, then there's a cigarette again, and the cigarette is broken in a different place. You're not sure if you're like misremembering, or if like he is chain smoking so quickly that he is just like oscillating wildly.
Fucking EI Jutsu smoker.
Like he is like quick drawing new ways to smoke because he has fucked his life up that badly.
This is a new form of Tsukiyomi. Smokiomi.
Oh, by the way, Bill, could I just stop poking at Eris to wake her up?
You may.
Sort of nudge her with my boot.
The Chubbs look up at you. You're welcome, by the way. And he'll... Chubbs will hold out his tongue, which is a very human-looking tongue, and it's got a seal on it. For a... As you, like, rub your tongue against the roof of your mouth, like, that seal's on your tongue now. It'll fade, don't worry.
Still, we intend on doing this to anyone who happens to be an enemy of your capital. Examples need to be made. The dead has due course.
Like, the more I'm playing this character, he's sliding rapidly from Clint Eastwood to being Larry David. Like, just try and keep it on. Yeah, try and keep it less wibble slingy and like. You can make examples of people just don't like do weird wibble slinging shit all the time. It makes people nervous. Like, everyone's on board like nailing a paedophile to the side of a building and like letting Ned like watch the sun come up, that kind of stuff. That's fine, but like,
exactly, that's what kettles are for.
Exactly. Like, so he knows. You still know that trick I taught you?
Yeah, worked wonders.
I was wondering why your travel kit was fucked up. He like nudged the ashes off into a. He's so he's being very conscientious. He's like every time he like taps a cigarette or a pipe, or in some cases like very esoteric looking bongs. In some cases, just to get tobacco into his system fast. Like at one point, you're pretty sure he's using a sheesh. That is just off screen slightly. Like he's tapping it off into like a little tray.
Sheriff, you want to hear a good joke? Seems some of my compatriots have gotten court summons over that from the goblins.
Where'd you find a goblin that can read and write?
It was the one that pretended to be a halfling.
Yeah, I thought Dave would come cripple one day.
Yeah,
he's a. I'm not sure what he used to be, but I don't think he was always a goblin. But he ain't no halfling.
He ain't anything anymore. He had his fucking hand eaten.
No, he had it coming.
Right, Eris, up with you. Go on.
Cartoony, sleepy noises.
The Reeve will waltz up, and she has smoke, does she?
I don't think she does.
Okay.
God,
he'll pass a thing of ginseng root to you instead. You just chew it, kid.
Eris has the thing where she thinks she's still asleep when she wakes up. So... yeah.
But, so I heard from you boys and girls that some shindig down in the deep. Is I right in hearing that?
Creepy crawlies, yeah.
And that Eris will wake up.
Correct.
There's always some bullshit going on. Shit won't leave us alone. You can take care of that. I can make some bad shit go away, you know?
Old man will hold out his hand. Old man will hold out his hand. You want to see what it looks like?
I don't think we saw the big thing in the chasm.
We did not. We only really heard it, kind of.
He'll slap a pad and paper into your hands. Be my guest.
You humans and your need to do it in a normal way. He'll then start artistically drawing a picture of the cockcrawler.
Do a perform check for art.
It's actually craft.
Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense, actually.
Really? Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, it's only art. If it's performance art, you're allowed to use charisma instead.
Hello, James, by the way, in the chat.
23.
Is profession executioner a form of performance art?
If you do a
It can
performance,
be.
yes.
If it's all about intimidating the crowd, it's performance. Otherwise, it's profession. Well, strictly speaking, if it's an execution, like if it's like the Wicker Man, that's actually an intimidation check. Okay, yeah, you draw a pretty damn good drawing. Like it's you get something. Yeah, you don't see those very often. Thank the gods that we don't.
We went down into a sub-room that went down into a cavern. That one tried to shoot at least 3 arrows at something that was loud, mechanical, and growling. Good fine iron,
Not
based on that cobalt.
mechanical.
Whatever it
Different.
was, it made a clank every time you hit it. And if we were hitting it, we were casting True Strike on it the entire time. Whatever the hell it escaped from, bunches of those down in the Underdark. And before we left, his hand pulled us out and we cast web the entire way back. Would have had half a mind to call it Capone if I didn't think it would have burned his mind out.
Weird stuff. Don't really see many of these things, not in groups anyway. Said there was more than one of these things?
I only got a good look, well, Hugel only really got a good look at one of them. It's bumbling around seeing if he could get it to do something, but it escaped down to a lower corridor. And that would be the room where we lost Hugel.
No effort.
Where's the buddy? Your buddy? Where's the buddy? Other buddy of yours anyway? The people with the one with the political inclinations and the crowbars.
Oh, he's inside the church. You want me to go get him?
If you could. I'd rather get the whole story from the whole squad, you know.
Also,
Do you want me to go get them normally, or do you want me to bring them here?
Try and bring them both here, but yeah, be nice. You know, it's not. We're all on break. We have to go out there into the shit. You know, we don't want to be upsetting people right before we go out into the heavily.
Yeah. So simultaneously,
now.
So
whilst all that stuff was happening, like see, I've sat on like the big boy's chair. And
I did notice.
I want to do detect bourgeoisie on everyone.
Oh god.
okay.
The one dude in
Ping.
front of you.
This guy glows like the sun. Person glows very slightly, but it's more like nouveau riche type glow.
I'm more looking for people who aren't triggering it.
Okay. All the
homeless
members
beggar,
of Bad
obviously.
Habits
Yeah, probably.
and both Seths do not trigger it at all. In fact, they seem to be like abysses of bourgeoisiness. Majority of these guys are just proles. This
Okay,
woman
so
pings as a noble, despite being a beggar. This man pings
That's interesting.
as high bourgeoisie, as does the kobold.
What about the bird?
Glows very brightly. Almost
Right.
as bright as
Bourgeois
possible.
bird.
I sure hope it does not have laser eyes like all the other birds in this campaign.
Guess what?
No.
As that is one of the curses that we got from
Yep.
like the very
Yep,
beginning of the
Yep.
game.
Everyone,
Yeah, that'll
every
be a
bird
first
has
or
a laser
second.
pointer.
Yeah.
Based.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk around the hall of this church. I'm gonna shake hands with everyone who's not bourgeoisie, and then I'm gonna lean into their ear and whisper, "Hail the workers!" Like, and pass them a crowbar.
Mark is
Well,
doing the communists' work, I see.
While Mark is
I'm
doing
good.
this, I will mentally whisper to him, "Oi, the sheriff wants you on side. Please come outside. I don't want to make
let
you
him
walk."
make new friends a bit longer. Come on.
He's patting us like
Neri,
crowbars.
you've been handed another crowbar.
Oh, thank you. Well,
So we know each other.
yeah.
You have 2 hands, 2 crowbars.
2 hands to
Double the
wield 2
effectiveness.
crowbars.
When you hand it to the Seths, like you get both of them hand you like different items. Mark.
Okay, that's
The
cool.
northern one hands you what appears to be a very small folding knife. It's like, just in case.
Perfect. I always need a very small folding knife just in case.
The other one hands you Ritalin.
You know, you're not far off. I was literally about to say lean rock, so you aren't far off. It's a purple crystal of some kind.
I see.
He has given you the
Add
lean
to water and
rock.
drink it if you're ever in really deep shit. It'll get you through.
I'm gonna go up to Sir Percy, and then I'm gonna do that thing where I go to shake hands, but then like run my hand through my hair.
He will put his little trotters up to his face and cry little pig tears.
Oh. I would also like to approach Sir Percy, and I know that we kind of told everybody what was going on, but ask him if he would have any kind of resources that he could help, you know, expend to maybe take care of what's going on underneath the city.
Smelling a tax rebate, he takes out his checkbook and shakes off his fountain pen. He takes out a very fine little, like, encased set of like a little calligraphy pen, and on the little case that goes around it and protects the bristles is also the inkwell. How much would you need?
Well, I was actually thinking more physical assistance, as in,
Goons.
I can
Goons, yes.
smell Baz like trying to burrow through the windows. What do you mean you're turning down money?
The ghost will
Well, I
whisper in
mean-
Mark's ear. Ask for a lot.
well, it's definitely me who's the one who's being offered the money. Well, I mean, really, I think that this is just how Neri would react, I think, and how also I would, but it's not a lot of difference. Well, really, the money should be saved for rebuilding the town.
I'll snatch the money out of Aiden's hand and say, "You don't want this," and I'll put it in my pocket.
Wait a minute, what the fuck is happening?
I think he's not even sticking around. He's just taking the check and just running to like the middle distance in frame.
Alright.
Like a fucking Simpsons
Well, in
gag.
addition to that generous donation, do you perhaps, have any goons, any kind of people who could help us maybe take care of the monstrous abomination that appears to be underneath the city?
Percy will flash you a smile that would make anyone blush.
The ghost sees through Neri's eyes. I'm not impressed.
Okay. Let me check my little black book. Yeah. He'll take out. He'll go to It's not funny. He'll take out a case, and both of the Seths start to visibly sweat.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll pop the case and say, "Here," and hand you a flare shell.
Alright.
Pop it into the flare gun that your compatriot should have, and fire it if you're in very dire need.
Also, just in from Captain for $5 saying prescription time. I don't know what this means.
Don't worry, I do. Send it to me in DMs. Let me download this quickly.
Thank
Talking
you,
about
Captain.
RP amongst
Very
yourselves
cool.
whilst I handle this.
Oh, Eris will be
He spoils you
talking
lot.
with Baz, and will be whispering and being secretive. As she will be speaking in Ignan, specifically.
Okay, but you know the rules, like open secrets. If you're speaking it in character, speak it for the people at home. This isn't a puppet show.
I have the thing. That's all she'll say
What?
in Ignan.
Ah.
Alright.
30 doses, goddamn.
As Aris will then proceed to check in with Mr. Chubbs. To see if he had managed to get some rest while she was just knocked the fuck out for God knows how long. For like a few minutes or whatever.
Don't worry, child. I don't need to sleep very much.
Well, still.
Behold!
A dream! Add her dream?
+1 index, -2 charisma. 30 doses.
Huh.
You will need to go to an apothecary to pick it up, though.
Based.
Expect at least a 20-minute wait time.
Based.
It is I'll say that for the interest of infiltrating the plot, it is a prescription that has been static clung to the back of the check.
Mm.
The check has got a signature, but does not have a figure written in yet.
What does that mean?
It's a blank check.
Oh. Is that
Dang.
good or bad?
It means you can write whatever you want on it.
You're playing chicken with this man's bank balance.
Yeah.
Hey, Kami. Hey, Kami. Wanna have some fun on the pig's bankroll?
Oh, I'd like to make a roll out of this pig. A bacon roll or something.
Cool it with the homophobia. Cool it with the homophobia.
The mental image of Comrade with 2 slices of bread chasing Percy around the room is now stuck in my head, and I can't unsee that.
Like a loaf of bread and a crowbar.
Yeah, it's not even 2 slices of bread. It's like a whole loaf.
Yes. Because I think Percy would be more than for one sandwich, even if he's a teacup pig, which usually
He is.
turn normal sized anyway. They're just severely underfed and malnourished.
Well, yeah, he is actually. I'll say this, Percy is still very small. Even like he's a teacup pig. Like despite his mercantile stature.
No.
I love teacup pigs.
But it does beg some. Upon mentioning that, like it does raise some questions as to what exactly has led to him still being a teacup pig, despite being a very prominent and very heavily defended member of the Merchants Guild.
Yeah, because usually once you feed a teacup pig, like anything above starvation level, it stops being a teacup pig and just becomes a pig.
Yep.
The ghost will whisper into Markiniri's ear. Please come outside.
Yeah, I think.
I'm behind you! I whisper back into you.
The man in half plate just appears.
Teleports behind you.
He's remarkably stealthy for someone wearing half a car.
I mean, he does have a high dance skill, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Fine, wonderful, great.
I'll short myself out. You'll have some of your privacy. Climb in through the window.
I'm just well, to be fair, it does appear to have been
There appears to be a racial argument happening inside. This is taking everyone's attention, so you can have a conversation in peace.
Wait.
Alright.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I hope the kobold will get out of this fine.
Smack!
A racial argument has begun.
Yeah.
Since I tried to use mending on the kobold, on the kobold's armor, he would have gotten it back once it was fixed.
Yes.
Okay, good. I don't want him to be at a disadvantage. I want him fully armed for this.
Makwa, do you mind if I don't participate? I don't want to be here right now. Or anywhere else. Alright, fine. I'll deal with everything myself. Go watch the fucking draconic lizard go fight the man, I don't care.
Gobshite is currently stuck in the door.
He's trying to watch. Oh,
He's
he's
trying
on
to
a
watch
cheap
because,
seat.
like,
a cheap seat.
pretty much.
Aww.
His body is blocking the entire building's entrance.
Right, Sheriff.
party, as you can see. Also, you two, tactical advantage. In you go.
What?
The ghost will cast Scoop and just ectoplasm inside of it.
Into
Into
Into what?
a magical container. Scoop.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Scoop's Haagen-Dazs. Like he's basically passing around the lean cup.
Oh, okay.
No, thank you. I don't do drugs.
I will rule it for ectoplasm if you've got like a object, you can apply it, and it'll. If you wish to avoid invasive use of ectoplasm, like an object treated with it has much the same effect, but it requires a hand free.
I don't know what is going on. I don't know why the fuck he's scooping ectoplasm out of himself. So
You're not either.
I'm curious to I was also curious as to what he's up to, but I'm gonna put that on the table just in case.
Didn't you hear me? I said tactical advantage. In you go. Back in the network.
No.
I'm good.
Wait, what? No. We've decided against it. This is a workers' rebellion.
As Eris will pull out her crowbar.
This is like everyone together going like, we aren't getting back in the Discord server, dude.
We're not getting back
Sorry,
in the
Discord is fucking toxic as shit. Like,
I'm tired of having the kitten roll. No more.
Sorry, like I sure 2/3 of
the sheriff will like hold hands like, listen, we're all friends here. There's no need for chicanery and stuff.
She puts back the wand of disrupting the dead.
I'm half deaf from firing the pistol earlier anyway. You can say what you want. It's all off the record.
Be quite serious.
Yeah. As ours will
probably, but I'm gonna
search
I need my
bag,
wits about me.
and we'll offer.
Don't worry about it, miss. I'll sort it out afterwards. But
you can use it later.
I've got some clear ear. I've got some clear ear serum in my carriage. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Clear ear serum is an unironic thing. It's weird.
To be quite serious, Sheriff, the entire point of putting them in the network is so that I can help them before they die. Mostly, if not able to talk and speak, and they just can't use the mind to communicate. They die, it's not my problem. I'm not the one that cares.
I pull out my wand of disrupt undead.
Well, I'd rather die.
The sheriff will like want to like, no, please, no wiggle stuff. It makes me nervous.
Also, Sheriff, the next time this one pulls out a weapon to try and disapparate a creature like me, I'm considering it a death threat.
Well, it is supposed to be one.
Ladies and gents, if we keep on, I'll just have you all put in irons.
Okay.
And you can all sit in the hollowed out shadow that used to be my fucking precinct.
I don't know what that means, but I'll trust your words.
Basically, in translation, you can all sit where the cells used to be before they burned down. You all sit in the fucking like shadow naughty corner.
I see.
The shadow naughty corner.
Eris will just hide behind the sheriff at this point. He just doesn't want to deal with this.
I don't want to drink the ectoplasm anymore.
I'd rather you not like fan around me like that. It makes me fucking mad. So bewilderingly he like grabs the ghost and like nudges him over. It's like you weren't aware the sheriff could do that.
He will not react.
That's a little bit disconcerting, though, to be honest.
He isn't like grabbing. He like nudges you over very slightly. It's like this is good.
By the way, don't we have a dungeon to go into?
You want to go in now?
We kind of need to get some items, I think.
Well.
Oh, that's true. We need to get the adrenochrome or whatever, and
upon hearing the term adrenochrome from someone, the sheriff will blast like, he'll like and take a step backwards.
I think
he knows what that is.
Oh, it's not adrenochrome. It's adrenadrain. Or Adrenochrome? I don't fucking know.
Something. Adrenochrome, yeah.
Don't look at me,
Close enough.
I'm not the one that deals with explosive firearms. Besides, they want to go down into a dungeon that is creepy, dark, and all of us are mostly still fledgling in our ability, and at least in my hand, half of my skills are gone because half my memories are gone. And so is his. I'm telling you.
Oh.
Yeah, you kind of walked into that one.
Yeah, I was like checking it out. I was gonna let you know what the fuck I was gonna do, but you took over. You decided to touch it. It's not my fault. As Eris will just hold up her hands.
Case being, if I may interject my professional opinion, what you got here is a kind of a failure of interpersonal trust and communication.
What we have here is a failure to communicate? Is that what you mean?
I was pretty much, yes.
Yes.
This voice is hard to do.
Yes, that's what the sheriff means, Neri. It's simple. No, listen to me, Neri. 1/3 of our being is gone.
You don't have to listen to him anymore.
It is inside of the hands of what I can only trust is a higher power. You four, as well as the man inside who can barely think because he's too busy grieving what he thinks is already dead, pun intended, Sheriff, is at the hand responsible for a symbol that I was told belonged to a chaos god. That chaos god had a seal to prevent ghosts from getting inside of a hole in a tunnel with something we don't know is organic or not that was coming up at us at the speed of fucking. And I don't want to go down there without all of us working together in tandem. I do not have
worked
time.
together before you arrived, to be fair. I know you weren't there for that, but...
All right, but just, okay.
The sheriff puts his pistol off of half-cock down to regular because he's about to fire to get people's attention. Yeah. As you were.
All right. All I'm saying is that I personally think that we can work together as a team without necessarily being controlled because it makes me feel icky.
Same.
1 second.
If you can agree to not take over my body against my will, I might be more willing to do it. If it's just being used for communication, that's fine, but I felt a little bit violated.
You keep bossing us around without even telling us what your grandiose plans are. And then you wonder when we don't get shit done. And complain, too. It's not nice, you know?
Y'all are on a roll. I'm going for a piss. You keep spitting.
No, take out the recliner tool and just.
No, take out the recliner tool. Look, we just we want to be able to work together as a team, but we like having bodily autonomy.
Yes.
1 second.
It's not a big ask.
Yeah, not really.
The skeleton comes crawling through the opening.
You called, Makwa. They're having a revolt because they don't like being made to move when they're not moving fast enough.
Yes.
Well, why are you always on such a run? Don't you have all the time in the world being kind of like dead? You know?
Sheriff, I need you to be an impartial mediator, please.
Bill is currently pissing, so I think the sheriff cannot respond.
Bill is pissing, but I will say I have been inspired. I don't know by what, but I think, Eris, that we should start a union.
It'll be a girls' club.
I sit back down from taking a piss.
It's just Eris and Janiri holding hands.
I was just having a brainwave when I was taking a leak, just thinking, I've got an idea for how I can make this a benefit for everyone. And I sit down to the most cursed sentence. Listen, I think we can all agree, present communists included, that we can all agree that the syndicalists are cringe.
What are syndicalists?
We could make signs and everything.
We can have our mascot.
Yeah.
Yes, it could be Mr. Chubbs.
Mr. Chubbs, would you like to be the mascot?
Mr. Chubbs looks very proud of himself.
I think he'll be the mascot, yes.
Okay.
Excellent.
I will say this.
We should make him a ceremonial hat of some sort
to
delineate his position.
A union pact, which is, of course, and I'm using the term colloquially in this case, there is a benefit to it. You could try the usual method of, like, direct action control, Carl.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could use action allocation, where rather than use someone as a conduit to take an action, which is inherently going to encounter the resistance of their limbs, and muscles, because you are trying to directly cause nerve impulses. You instead just allot them additional actions from your pool, and in doing so, allow you a free aid another per round. Bonuses are allocated as you see fit amongst those you've interacted with, amongst your actions. As you would no longer be encountering the same resistance. So if you've got a +2, let's say you go with the basic +2 enhancement from an aid another roll, you can split that, and you give one person a standard action and one person to move. You can either give one person +2 or both person +1. People +1.
Also, just in from Cold War Meg for $20 saying, Eris and Neri roll a d10 of those.
Cold War Mag has once again chosen violence.
By the way, who died on that one thing?
Yeah.
Where you rolled 69?
Somebody died.
Everyone's going out into the city to do recon and like body reclamation soon.
Sorry.
That's a big number.
I get nervous when I see numbers that high.
Poor Meg.
What? Occupants of the nearest brothel appear in the nearest abbey?
Wait, what?
Well,
Hold
Would
on.
this not be considered an abbey?
Yes.
Wait, I'm getting hose?
Okay.
You're getting hose.
Because
you have
the nearest brothel is burned down. So I'm not really sure that...
I'm getting a scorched hose.
A bunch of skeletons just bamf into midair.
No.
But,
rattling bones.
I'll say someone nearby weeps tears of honey when they feel pain.
I think the honey
I'm gonna
tears
go with that
would
one.
be funnier.
Yeah.
Let's go with the honey tears. We'll roll it randomly. Out of the... Well, there's... Let's ignore the corpse, so there's 6 of you. And I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes.
One, 2, 3. So I'm on, isn't it? The ghost weeps honey, apparently. I'm not sure how that works.
Don't question it.
Let's not look too carefully into that.
Does the honey corporeal though? Like, could you collect it in a jar?
In the interest of not having that conversation come up, I'm also going to give it to Eris as well.
Oh no! Okay.
Because it is technically her the target, so.
Eris, you also cry honey now.
This is fine.
40.
I mean, I
there's a condition going around
as looking like honey, so it's fitting.
There you go.
And that's moonstruck honey, so it's got a very strange, like, iridescent quality to it.
Wait, does Eris have moonstruck as well?
It's vestigial. It's not as a. I think we did say she does.
I don't recall, because I think for this one I hadn't had that yet. She's a skinwalker, but she doesn't have the moonstruck.
Oh no, it was. I remember specifically you do in this one. You started with it because you noticed the wealth hunter because he also has it in one eye.
Oh, okay. I shall be changing some things on my sheet to adjust.
Okay. Eris has a hard choice. Not Eris, rather, Neri has a hard choice to make.
Oh.
Goblins and kobolds are invisible to the target.
Okay.
Or, for 1 week, target can't be injured by members of their own species.
Well, I'll take the latter. Wait, I'm invisible, or they're invisible to me?
They're invisible to you. So, yeah, these second one's the only beneficial one. So
yeah.
I'm gonna extend that to all boulders.
Alright.
The rock can't hurt you. Let's go.
Wait a minute.
Humans, just earth elementals.
Now, Bill, this is a very serious question. Would that apply to fall damage? Because the ground is rock.
Yeah.
Only if you hit rock. You have to aim for rock. If you hit
I
grass,
punch
you're
a
dead.
rock-
Someone fucking places a
if
dirt block under.
So,
You hit stone, fine. You hit soil, pink mist.
right, but if I hit rock, okay. So I can Chris Redfield punch the shit out of boulders then?
Yes.
Yes.
You always
Alright,
could.
let's go.
You always could. You are
Well,
punch
yeah,
skilled.
but more so now.
Yes. It is full-on Turkish Star Wars level. of
Actually, this
punching
could be
boulders.
very useful since we're going underground. So,
More importantly, diplomacy roll.
hmm.
Sheriff,
I need you to speak with us over here, away from them.
If you'll excuse me, ladies and gents.
Well, this is happening. I will get out some paper and sticks, and we'll start making little protest signs.
No, Eris is for drafting up the mascot flag first. I'm just gonna ask Mr. Chubbs for to pose for it.
They always start with the branding first.
Yes, I'll get some paints and crayons.
If you have good branding, you'll be recognized, you see.
Exactly.
That's very important.
When he's this far away from the rest of them, you notice that he doesn't use a match this time. He takes out a very fancy-looking zip, almost Zippo-esque, very fancy lighter, and click it, and it will set a little flame out. And he's now smoking a slim, purple-toned, cigarillo instead of a regular cigarette.
The ghost is puffing on the booth, drastically, like a chain smoker.
What's that gonna do for you? You seem nervous.
To be quite honest, both Makwa and I have a very serious dilemma with these people. I was strapped in a sword. I went comatose because I got tired of looking at nothing and counting the years. I literally forgot what I could do. I'm gaining my abilities back, and now 1/3 of my being, all that defines what I am, is gone and is in the hands of a higher being trying to remove the presence of my people from the stone that could have threatened to blow these people up. The stone was on a lock. That lock goes down to a dungeon. We heard and saw something basically make stones at us and throw actual stones at us from a cavern we couldn't see down. It snuffed out light. We need them to cooperate, but they're angry because these quite fucking bastards don't move fast enough. They're actively resistant to change. They do what they want. They say what they want. They act as they want. They disrespect everything around each other. And quite frankly, if it wasn't for the fact that they kill good, I wouldn't have made the fucking lock with them under his recording artist. Because his one rule when he was comatose is I'm responsible for his decisions. And his decisions is the first time we see humans that actually take us out of the tree, we make a deal with them. And we made a deal to protect them.
They have surprised folk. Yeah, they seem capable folks. They're strong in the arm, fairly quick-witted. A few marked exceptions, notwithstanding. You look over to Baz, who looks like he's about to go chew concrete for a living. Have a little faith in them. You'd be surprised. You got to think of it this way: when I first got the Reeve job, they put me in charge of the same dipshits I'd worked with my whole damn life. A couple of newbies besides. First time on the job, you haven't quite earned the trust. You start throwing your weight around, you get some pushback. You'd be surprised how easy it is to get them to warm up. You just got to play ball for a little while, and next thing you know, they're trusting you. And they'll trust your judgment when you suggest something to them. Then suddenly that order sounds like their idea. They defer to you. You're thinking like you're a puppeteer, my friend. You're not. You're a commander.
To be quite frank, Reeve, he's thinking like a puppeteer. He's an assassin. That's what he does. He uses eyes and ears. He used to
I used to be one myself back in my childhood, in my halcyon days, in my teenage years. Every street tough with a knife thinks he's going to be the next great killer. But, I got my act together. You'd be surprised. It's never too late to teach a dog new tricks.
To be fair,
I got up and up. I got clean.
To be fair, they do have a point. He has been rough with them. But he's rough with them because he knows that if he didn't make them move faster, they would die sooner. He's trying to keep them from dying. And he'll tug at the soul lock on his collar, which will ping the collar on him. We are literally oath-bound to keep them safe. He's literally trying to stop himself from regaining the consequence of not keeping his end of the bargain. Possession is part of the bargain.
Ever thought about maybe renegotiating?
That's what we are currently discussing. We have a simple demand. We have simple requests, and he has one demand.
It comes to the world's demands, people tend to push back the hardest against those. You'd be surprised. You're all walking the same road, you know, you're all going towards the same destination in some way or another. You know, you're all going to find your way around it. Have a little faith.
Quite, but you're going to negotiate it with us.
Well, we're a little bit busy in terms of a schedule. We got another 5 minutes before we're back out in the shit.
This won't take long, Sheriff.
Yeah, it seems a little heavy. I'm just saying, it seems a little heavy for a civil servant such as myself. It seems something more that you'd want to call in a lawyer for.
Ludum will put his hand on his shoulder. Come on, Sheriff. Have a little faith, especially in the great beyond.
I always was afraid of heights. Ah, well, let's give it a go. At least what's the worst I could say is I don't want to know what the fuck I'm talking about.
You are all still alive. Be a little on the death side. It'll start making sense.
Yeah, I'm planning for retirement too, so let's talk business.
Makwa has 2 demands. Makwa, you have the floor. Right. You, witch. Stick. Hand it over.
What?
What stick?
The wand of kill undead. Hand
No.
it here.
No. It's my possession. That's kind of rude. You could at least say please.
Everyone looks over the sheriff like the thumb is on the hammer of the revolver. The revolver
Mind
is
you,
pointed
Eris
towards
does
the
not-
sky. A
Eris
blank
does
is
not-
loaded in the chamber.
Eris does not have the wand on hand. It is packed away. He could at least say please.
No,
Not
it's
just
that he's
fucking
not-
demand it.
It's not like that. It's just that the sheriff has seen an argument, and his immediate gut response is gun.
Understandable,
Makwa.
sir.
Makwa, use your words.
Drunk and civil people, you know. Honey, not vinegar. This isn't a bag of chips.
Vinegar chips are pretty nice.
That's true.
Based.
And we'll listen. We'll go to the chippy afterwards, but yeah,
Oh,
business full pleasure.
are there any open at this time, though? In the situation?
Probably
Probably
not.
not.
There's a van on the east side. It'll be open even now.
If you pay for my chippy, I will be more inclined to talk. Well,
I love the negotiation. I'm not saying I'll give you the wand, but
no, I'm talking to the sheriff.
he'll flip you. It's a copper piece for a meal, okay? Here, he'll hand you the copper piece.
Okay. I'll keep the wand pocketed. It won't come out unless we're in a combat. Should look at
No
the
recreational wand use. That gets the ATWF on the backs. Nobody wants that.
Yeah, we saw
I do
one
believe
of
you got a.
them. In one place, they tried to shoot a dog. Oh,
Oof.
the poor
They
thing.
usually try to do that, to be fair.
Have some, self-preservation for the little one. He'll point towards the dog.
Wait, there's a dog?
Your dog.
Oh, no,
The
he's in a
dog
different
doing?
plane currently. It's probably not on the scene.
Yeah, he's
What do you
just
think?
pointing into another dimension. That's not weird.
Oh, hold on.
No,
The sheriff.
if he pointed to another dimension, that's a little bit spoopy.
The dog is currently around your ankles.
Uh-oh. What?
Oh, Albert. She'll pet him and ask him, would you mind? As Albert will then jump into a different plane to wait there. I don't want him to see arguments. He's a young one.
Fucking sentiment. Fuck. Makwa!
Honey, not vinegar, son. Honey, not vinegar.
When you threaten us with a wand, even if we know that we could make you stop moving it, whether we were possessing you or not.
I mean, I already
It
agreed
makes-
to it, so can you move to the next point? I already agreed to
Let
not
him-
use it
Let him
unless
finish.
it's
Let him
combat.
finish. Let him finish.
He's gonna
Otherwise
want
he
to
will
get
never
up.
leave.
He's going to want to get this off his back, you know. Some people get ornery that way.
When you threaten us with a weapon, when literally we are contracted to not harm you, it feels like abuse.
Yes.
Especially when we've saved your life. And from vilification. Multiple times.
No comment. Moving on.
That's your part of the deal, Makwa. My part. No more undead racism. The jokes.
I make no promises.
I've not been making jokes, really. Oh, I don't know.
The skeleton.
Baz just calmly, nudges himself back out of the conversation. I can see it in my fucking brain, Baz just fading into a bush.
Simpsons meme, unironically.
Full on, Come here, you.
The skeleton will put up a hand, and we'll do an Obama impression. Let me be clear. The skeleton will drop.
The sheriff has turned invisible.
Let me be clear. When we mean the unabashed racism, we mean the kind of racism that the Cardinal gave us when he gave us our papers. It is very clear that you people have a history with the undead, especially our vampires.
Just cuts to a flashback of the parish being burned to the ground by vampires. Not just the town, the whole parish being reduced to a glass crater multiple times in history. The armor is changing from copper to bronze to iron, but it's the same vampires each time. In fact, it's just the same dude each time.
Earth will help Neri crafted the Mr. Chubbs flag. She rolled a 29.
It's arts and crafts are just going on in the background as the sheriff tries to also process regional fucking trauma like it's Northern Ireland.
And quite frankly,
You're muted.
Oh, Aiden.
Because I'm sneezing constantly. It's not perfect, but I got some AI art going already.
And quite frankly, every time that we've heard comments, especially from people randomly, for no other reason than for the abashed desire to make us feel otherized, even though he is technically me, and I'm technically this fucking bastard, it feels like your jokes are not jokes. And I know that some of them are not jokes. But if you want us to feel the way that you feel, you need to understand what it feels like, especially considering
racism is not nice. Have you seen me? I don't look normal.
Chubbs will lift up the hat.
Yes,
yeah.
Penny. Yes,
I get my fair share of comments, so don't lecture me on this.
And quite frankly, with 1/3 of us missing, it feels a bit targeted, especially considering the non-stop pace at which you hate what is effectively children.
What?
Well, you're the one bringing the children into this.
In fairness, I do believe the undead should be purged and laid to rest. So frankly,
peacefully.
I'm just, making a light-hearted note of it.
Plus, you did say for the first thing you said to us when we got you out of that sword is that you want to rest. So we tried to do it. And then you got upset with us.
To be fair, have you considered Samsara for some of them? Electively,
This is what we were trying to explain to you, Sheriff. This soul lock prevents either of us from being able to move on until we have completed our ends of our bargain.
We can exercise you. That would be moving on.
Please don't. Because if you excise me, you make him incapable of completing his end of the bargain. And if you excise me, it makes him and Yugal incapable of completing his end of the bargain.
Which bargain exactly?
The bargain.
You said there are a bunch of kids involved in this?
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about too.
Yeah, I'm also confused. I don't know where the kids get involved.
Like we were trying to tell you before you got angry that he left you, Sheriff, we have a bargain with our gods. My god wants me to not make an embarrassment of myself again and kill something worthy of his head. And my god wants me to rebuild the city that I swore to protect, but left because I was on a mission that involved his murder. And the two of us need to bring rest to the many souls inside of Yugal, who are also the impartial party looking over the deal for our gods. That, you dear witch, is what I meant when I said rebuild our nation.
Where is this my problem, though?
The part where you want to excise us.
Yeah, but genuinely, where is it our problem?
Billy, you're muted now.
The earnestness of Mark's response there hit me in the soul.
I didn't even hear what Mark said.
It was just a very distant.
It's not even out of malice that I say this, but where I fail to see where this is our problem. Sure, we got you stuck out of a tree, but why do we have to help you while you're forcing us into helping you constantly? Which isn't quite nice, you know? You've never asked what we want to do, you know?
Mark, Lasprey, they don't know.
Didn't you explain it to them when you made the contract with them?
They didn't really listen.
I see. Sheriff, please pull on my neck.
How hard?
Grab for about this space right here, 2 inches to the right.
Hold on.
Tug hard.
We're just in plane.
Okay.
I forgot.
Sorry, I want to make sure because I work as a hangman. I want to go too far with these things. There's a tremendous exertion of force all of a sudden.
There is an audible click as a manacle drops on the ground. He picks up the manacle.
Huh.
He flaps it up and down like a sheet, and it starts going from iron into a contract.
Bill, I think it does.
About that. About the contract.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
As I say, I may have made some rolls in secret because of some things that went down, and the contract is absent. What is been replaced with. It appears to be a placemat from a local restaurant.
Oh, is it the Cat Cafe?
Yes, it's Cat Cafe.
Oh, wait, which type of placemat is it though?
Children's colouring in one.
Oh,
Yes.
Nice.
Someone's like,
Reva, just for a little taste, do the same thing on here to the left.
Okay. No chiropractor though.
His collar will fall off, and he'll shake it out. Is it the same thing?
No, this time it's the cocktail menu.
They'll both look up at the sky. Are you doing this? Is this what you do for jokes?
You look up in the sky, you see kind of like an Arshea-shaped cloud going, no, it ain't me. You look up on the other side of the sky, there's a red rumbler-shaped cloud. It's like, it's on brand, but it's not me this time.
Well, wonderful. They'll shake them back and put the collars back on.
There's a slight crack of thunder. Your collective fatherless behavior is embarrassing me.
Please tell me.
Your adventurers act like it. Mutual goals. You'll get there eventually. Stop being a bunch of puffs about it. This would have never happened if you were with us.
Also, Albert will jump out of the plane and onto Baz's lap.
The gods, as they pop their collars back on, and making sure that Arshea sees that the collars are back on. The point of this was that we made I made a contract with them, pretending to be him while he was still unconscious. I literally oath swore myself to be to their assistance and to keep them alive. And under the rules of a person who is sworn to the riding guild and is an expert rider at this point, granted it's his skill, I'm just a person who had to learn it being attached to him. I am literally needing to keep them alive. I have to keep them alive by being able to work with them. To work with them means to be able to see through their eyes, to know what they're feeling, so I can kill what's killing them.
The Reeve will look through a contract that he didn't have a second ago. There's no safeguards here, equating negligence in regular combat. Like if they die of their own accord, you keep them safe within the purview of your abilities. There's nothing here that says you have to, keep them magically safe. You do realize that, right?
I do.
The legalese has changed a lot, we've clarified some things out. You can't just blame someone just because they couldn't, magically keep you safe through a wall because you got shot 3 parishes over,
Well, Reva, it's very simple. If we can't keep our end of the bargain, and if we find ourselves to be guilty of something, our share will fucking kill us. Literally, kill us.
You're in luck. Here, there's a few little caveats in terms of divine influence. You notice, he points up the skies. You notice how there are always clouds?
Yes.
Let me fetch you someone. He'll explain better than I can. He'll reach in through the window. He'll wander in. And then he will exit with a bird.
Burb.
Oh, there you are. Been a while.
The bird is looking a bit poorly, to be honest.
I'm going to be quite serious when I ask this. If the bird is not a god, I'm going to be confused, Reva.
Same neighborhood. Salome. You want to tell him, or shall I? So the bird will go. Bark. Okay, I'll tell him. You see, Salome here is your little friend's best friend, Astrid. You know her?
Oh, yeah.
You run into her, right? Grey lady, grey hair, bit drab looking.
Yep.
The birdhouse.
Salome here is a psychopomp. He's not really a bird. Well, he's a bird, but he's not. He's a Nazoi. They help the passage of the souls onto the hereafter. He just looks like a bird, like a regular bird,
Very. By the way, is that named after the woman that does blood magic?
Name the criminal? Nah, sir. Yeah, there are more than one person called Salome on the island, right?
You're aware.
Like, there's more than one John too,
Oh, so if you could check your DM. I sent you something.
Oh, yeah, 1 second. Let me just double check one thing that's on the matter. I've suddenly blanked on the Reeves. Yeah. Like, my name's Roger. You don't, like, there's 3 other Rogers who were in the academy with me in the same year.
Yeah.
Name's the same. It's probably like the best thing is, as far as I'm aware, Salome and Astrid hate each other's guts. So that's an extra bonus. He'll roll up the contract and he'll hand it to the dog.
The dog disappears.
I've got someone on the other side, just waiting for the contract to double check things from the more wibble slinger and the things. But you see, one thing I used to roll with Astrid and her crew back in the day, back before I became a Reeve, and before I got the head honcho job. And the most important thing I learned is the gods of Galarian can't, as much as they can't interact with the rest of the world directly, they can't directly enter the island. He points up at the sky. There's a bunch of stars up there. One constellation from each god. And they have to channel it down through there to us. And that's why, our clerics aren't as strong as the ones in the mainland. You know, there's only like 2 people in the whole island who have even performed a resurrection. That's why things are different. You know, hell, Baz is one of the stronger clerics I've met, and
I can't even read.
Yeah, like magic is rare here, and it's dangerous because we're reliant on the stars for our work. If you pissed off this god of yours, Arshea, was it?
Yes.
You have more leeway than you know. And we'd back you up. Hell, most of the good aligned gods, they need to go through the golden dragon to get to us. That's why we worship him. Not because he's the embodiment of good and law and calm and peace, but because he's a buffer between us and every dickhead who's passed the Starstone test and thinks that the gift to mankind. Yeah, I like Caden Killeen as much as the next guy, but when he gets pissed drunk and starts thinking maybe we should start rearranging people's faces, I'm glad that there's a god out there, yeah, fighting our line, making sure someone's there to say, no, you mind your fucking business. More leeway here. We don't do things like they do in the mainland. We ain't simping for a bunch of fucking gods out there who just rain down hellfire. Those days are over.
Well, I understand your concern, Reeve. I am a devout, and these chains were meant to be something that I put upon myself. That was the exchange in the deal of my wish, and what I did to take the wish back. I punished myself, Hugel punishes him, he torments me. It's a cycle of pain, and we all hurt for it.
Why are we involved in your pain?
Yeah, you gotta remember, there are other people involved in this.
Because when we made the contract with you, we meant it. He might not like
so
you, but he will.
So you meant to hurt us. I see.
No, I meant to try to keep you alive, and you tried to threaten me with what I thought was oblivion. You do that a lot.
I think what we're dealing with here is
What?
Pretty basic case of the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing.
I didn't think we'd ever done that.
No, rock person, you didn't do that. He makes a hand motion over like he's looking, you know, the Destiny pose with the microphone.
All right.
No, you didn't. She did. At least 8 times. 7.
No, 2.
7 times.
I shot at you once, I know that, I missed. And I pulled it out a second time as a warning.
Yes, it's man. Please remember, you're all gonna go out there into the shit together. And the sure as right is right and left is left. You're gonna be running into all sorts of heinous shit. You're gonna be going down there into the shit together, and you can't trust each other. If you can't do that, yeah. It's just a little give and take, folks. It's not exactly fucking rocket surgery.
Okay, but...
What is a rocket?
The Reeve has a point, and I agree with him. For example, remember when you all were killing the Pyromancer and you forgot about Irene?
Yeah, because
you mean that
were
lady
with
who
her.
can perfectly handle herself?
Yeah.
She's Irene.
I'm
she's
gonna
Irene,
be fair with you here. Irene fucking scares me.
She scares everybody but us.
No.
I'm a little scared.
Unanimous, like, no, she scares us too.
Considering you almost had her spring-loaded in the way that I had to walk through. And spring-loaded in the sense of decapitating whatever walks through her. Like,
I once saw Irene strangle a manticore to death with her bare hands.
Yeah, now she can handle herself. That's kind of sexist of you, to think she's just a little helpless girl.
Bruh.
She didn't...
Speaking of which, where were you, Ghost, while we were out there fighting, in the thick of it?
You were floating over the trees.
I was making sure that no one was getting left behind.
In the trees?
No,
Sure?
on the ground.
No,
That's why
you
we were
not
close
in the
enough to
trees.
save her.
You were dragging an unconscious
Blank
body
fire
by
into the ceiling.
Damn. Wait, there's a ceiling?
That
Yes,
man
there's an
was not-
overhanging. There's an overhang.
Like, that man was not just flying and dragging. We were keeping the Mock's body safe because we couldn't be able to wake him up.
Ow.
Someone
Ow.
saw fit
Way
to
louder than I
put him
thought it was.
to
Ow.
sleep.
Eris will offer him a salve as she holds her ears shut.
You sure?
I'm getting used to this fucking thing. I've only ever used it once.
I'm so
More
sorry.
important.
Click as he cocks the
Oh, no.
hammer again. Do not make me fucking repeat myself. This thing hurts to use. As he cocks the hammer. It's like, it's... Yeah, Mark.
Okay, sorry. These two guys who are in this doorway, or these three guys rather, those are all proletarians, right?
Oh, yeah.
One of them's maybe a kulak.
Well, he's a kulak.
Yeah.
He'll wander over here to give you some room.
Yeah, thank you, comrade. Like, see how they parted like the Red Sea for me to come in. So while all of this is going on, I'm just gonna go up and I'm gonna fucking murk Sir Percy in the face with
Things are about to get dangerous.
I'm just gonna fucking try and crowbar him into the wall, like, in one move.
Oh no, Mark.
Yes, do it. Trust the dice.
Tell all my other, all the other proletarians in the room to get the fuck out, or whatever. And obviously I'm gonna do it as a dance.
Obviously, yeah.
You're gonna just pirouette up to him.
Punch him in the face.
You just aggressively capoeiraing next to him with a crowbar.
While this is happening, the ghost and the skeleton will go over to the sheriff and will actively
Everyone outside, here's a commotion.
I unfortunately can still see through Mark's head because Neri and him were never disconnected.
Mark, what's your CMD?
Uh-oh.
It's 18.
Unfortunate. As you run up with the crowbar and it's blocked with a Mandalore body pillow.
But they will have all the body pillows after the revolution.
He pays me better.
I get the deep cut of what this means. That makes it way funnier.
This is a moment of, like, suddenly, Mark, you find yourself very much surrounded.
While this
As
is happening,
the rest of the bad habits kind of just shimmer into place. I'm gonna need y'all to let me cook on this, with the exception of Mark.
oh, please cook. I just want to be able to say one thing to the Reeve.
You may do so post facto.
Okay.
So let me get this thing. It's... Mark, what would you like to say in this situation? Because they're going to give you a pause for comment before they begin.
This is where Mark fucking dies.
No.
Well, it should be noted that the bad habits have a long history of war crimes under the belt.
Don't communists too?
Mark, you there?
Comrade, are you there?
He fucking died.
He's just fled the building.
No.
Cyanide pill. No. So I'll whip open like my coat or whatever, and show off the belt covered in Molotovs, like, and spin around threateningly, like, I will suicide bomb if I have to. Yeah.
Okay, when you say spin around, do you spin around or the belt spin around? This is important.
I spin around. I do like a twirl in it. Like, remember, I'm a dancer.
Okay. So when you do so, you notice something. There's a pivot on the belt.
What does pivot mean?
As in, there's a point on the belt where the face of it rotates. You just felt it unhook slightly with the rotation. But there's some give there. Could you roll me an intimidate check, please?
Oh, and I'll also flash my new fucking vampire teeth at him as well.
Oh, right, yeah.
I should stress, Mark, you're
Might
like
not be a
only a
good idea.
radiation vampire. You're more like Morbius. Obviously, there is a distinct look of terror on every, like even the bad habits kind of back off a little bit.
Yeah, so, Sir Percy, even though you're a pig, we've got beef.
Whatever you do, don't press anything, please. I'm not asking much of you. Please, it doesn't need to go down this way.
What I need is all your fucking goons. Give them to me. Or you'll be facing the guillotine of justice.
There's an audible sigh from the other corner. Both the skeleton and the ghost
Go,
are
Mark.
physically.
There's a look of that was the best line you had.
Go, Mark, get him. Oh, I can't say that. Like,
Could you roll me a perception check, please, or a sense motive? Whichever one you've got higher. Hell, roll both.
There's a faint sound of someone going, "Oi!" outside.
Mark going on to get his own storyline. Good on him.
Based.
Mark is his own man.
Just claim, I have heard this autism for too long. I am going to make the plot.
Yeah. What was the other one? Sense motive.
There we go.
Ooh, that's low.
Oh, Aiden, did you see I made an edit of that one with the
Oh, no.
flag that
And play a shit, hang on.
Yeah.
Yes! The keg play! I didn't see it. I was just such an exploitable image, but it's so good. Like, the art is really good.
Yes, I put the flag that Captain made for it.
Yeah.
But it is mirrored, so I apologize.
It's very good, though. The prompt, by the way, was Chippy purple starry witch girl with purple hair and big hat, and her friend Chippy dark skinned girl with white hair in a martial arts gi. The two are coloring arts and crafts, drawing communist political propaganda.
Oh.
They have a pet frog. It didn't always work with the frog, as you know. But
Yeah.
Like he's like trying to push himself back out through the window at this point, but he's too short to reach. He's only a teacup pig. But he's not looking at the bandolier. He's looking at the other belt, the white one.
Oh, right. You got a rider belt, didn't you?
Because even in real life, I love wearing more than one belt at the same time.
You want the bad habits, take them. Just no, this doesn't need to get nasty, okay?
I want to slap him in the face and then steal his hat. No, like when he does that, like instinctive, like huh thing. That's when I'm going to steal his hat.
Roll me a CMB, please. It'd be quite easy.
Oh, that's not good.
You take the hat from him, and he's completely silent. The hat sizes up to your hat size.
Of course it does. It's a magic pig hat. So I'm just going to grab him.
But
Taking him hostage. That's what I'm doing. If only I had some kind of magical device to hold him inside.
why are you kidnapping Sir Percy?
Because he's a capitalist pig, obviously.
Yeah, but like, what about this fucking dude that fucking shines as bright as the fucking sun?
And also, he gave you a fucking blank check.
Yeah, well, I'm taking everything.
Percy, okay, Sir Percy, lick your nose.
Oh, he licked your nose.
Oh.
He's just smiling happily now.
Oh.
Oh man, I'm gonna snap his neck.
No!
See, Party, this is what you've done. You drove him to this. I blame all of you.
Why? No!
Okay, could you roll me a sense motive? Before you do, roll me a sense motive to notice something. It probably is not going to stop you. As you know. He's not said anything since you took the hat off.
Is the hat the source of his communism or his capitalism? Excuse me. If you put it on, will you die?
Alright, so I'm still carrying him in my arm. We're gonna walk over to this. That homeless bitch was actually bourgeois, weren't she? Yeah. We'll go to one of these proles, like, and we'll give him a hat and see what happens.
They go, oh, and like knock the hat off of themselves. Ugh. Mister, that felt really weird. The little kid just like looks at the hat and is like grimaces slightly.
I don't like this. This is way scarier than having to fight all of those dudes at the same time. Now go.
Everyone is backed. Okay, everyone who has seen you is backing off from you pretty much. Because they've realised that you're like a dangerous psychopath, and second, half of them are looking at the belt you got given by Red Hands, and those people are more scared than the people who just think you're nuts.
All right, I'm taking this hat. Taking this hat.
Once again, lift your hand.
That's great. Here's my best bud. He's coming with me now. Like, as we exiting, I'm gonna be like thrusting my crotch like at the people.
I think we might. I think we might actually have control of his entourage now. If someone wears that hat, just as a guess.
As you walk past, the kobold doesn't actually see you before basically your codpiece connects with the side of his head and knocks him.
Oh no!
Yeah, so then I'll just go and rejoin the party, and I'll say like, have you guys finished yet? Like, and look, I got a pig.
Where even are you? You've disappeared from my view.
I think under Gobshide, possibly. Oh,
no,
yeah, there's.
He's underneath the character sheet.
Eris will wave towards Sir Percy.
Oh, hello, Percy.
He oinks happily.
I have double charisma towards him, so this is a good sign.
I'm gonna go to Eris, and I'll say, here you go. I've got this really cool hat from Mr. Chubbs.
We wanted him to have a hat and everything. Look, it's all coming together.
It is coming all together. And it is the
I feel like this might be a really bad idea.
Mr. Chubbs looks elated. Thank you.
I think this might be a really bad idea, but let's keep going.
He puts his new hat on. Thank you.
Oh my god, I feel like we may have done something very, very bad.
Bill, can I make a sense motive check to notice a shift in behavior?
Yes.
Like, the pair will also roll for a sense motive check.
Yeah, how's
We
that?
have matching hats? Well, not matching, but we both have hats. That is good.
Eris will just be happy he has a hat.
He has a hat.
when the beginning of this happened, literally in the middle of this conversation, they stopped mid-sentence to start clasping their hands on their face, and the skeleton beating his head against the ground. After he comes back to the group, the skeleton stands back up, readjusts the skull. And then there's also the problem of Mark.
Mark isn't really a problem. He's a problem solver, right?
As she'll pull out the crown.
He is given...
The pig breathes happily.
He has given Mr. Chubbs a hat, and Sir Percy seems much more amicable now.
Are we about
Seems like all has been solved.
Are we about to pretend that he did not just menace everybody inside of the chapel?
No, I don't know. I wasn't inside.
I didn't see anything.
I didn't see anything.
We saw it. You and Miri are still in the network.
No, I am not.
No, we're
in the
not,
network.
though.
You let us out. You never invited us back in.
Well, I should stress, there's a lot of panic from the inside, and the words they're hearing is like, did they just knock the hat off Percy?
Baz just thinks to himself, ha, Lamau, get fucked.
I've seen him kill people for that. Are the habits afraid of something? What the fuck was that belt?
I'm gonna go inside and politely ask the bad manners to leave the church now, as per the agreements between the Churches Guild and the Merchants Guild.
They will salute you in unison and disappear in a flash of lightning.
Oh, no.
Both sets will go, well, this is awkward.
Yeah.
The skeleton, the ghost, turned back to the
I believe you have a blank check.
Yeah.
Do you have any work you would like done?
Oh yeah, true. They work for
Yes.
money.
Right. Oh, yes, we need them to go fuck with the
blank
thing
check.
underneath the city.
As you can see,
The look on Bob's face is exactly the look on Bob's face. Like, what in the fuck is this?
Something very strange just happened.
I just look at him and say, this is what we call business.
You guys are yeah, that's fair.
the skeleton, the ghost, will continue talking to the Reaper. As you can see, it makes it very hard dealing with him when this one will walk up to Godspawn and will try to throw a giant object at its head.
Oh,
Or how about the time he did that one thing with the ghouls? Or, notwithstanding,
You mean
he does it.
You mean the bowling ball? He'll point towards the gorb.
Yes, the Gorb. Quite
I forget the time
I'm like a
when I
better
tried to
himself.
crowbar open that guy's head.
To be quite frank, for all the souls inside of Yugal, just looking after this one is like looking after the worst temper tantrum in existence.
I mean, I hate to break it to you, but I think you made out like a bandit there.
Quite frankly, he's not dead, so I suppose that's a win. But on the other hand, we really want him to stop doing things like that.
Hey, don't knock the idea of refuge and audacity. There are a couple of things you said to these people in there that would have got you lynched in certain places.
We're dead.
Not mentioning Bar. You'd be surprised. There are some trees out there that'll still work on. Ever seen a Saren wood? I have.
Regardless, Reeve. We want them to work with us. They want autonomy. We are more than happy to let them have autonomy, but they need to stop acting like us looking out for their best interest is stopping them from being able to live.
Have you tried working with us, though? Like, what
Yes.
do we want to do? Wait, what do we actually want to do? Tell us. Have you ever asked us what we are doing? Like, what our plans are? What we want in the future? You keep talking about
What?
yourself, your city, your ghosts. But you've never asked us what we want to do. You'd expect us to work with you and cooperate when you don't care what we want.
Yeah, it's about what the people want.
Tell us, what is our mission? What was our
for
mission
everyone to become a
before
communist.
the
Right
part-
now, I
before
want to
you
pet
joined?
Sir Percy.
Honestly, that's a good plan.
So tell us.
Oh,
Tell us
Sir
if
Percy
you want
rolls
to
around in the
cooperate with
mud.
us and communicate with us and work together. It's a group effort, you see.
As Neri is just like
Because he's rolling around
her.
in the because he's rolling around in the mud, ruining his suit.
3,000
And it's
gold
cute.
pieces.
Don't worry. We can get that suit cleaned, I think.
So, what is your answer?
Literally, since the beginning of your dealings with us, my first action was to preserve your life from an undead
No,
swarm.
I don't want to hear that.
From life
Nope,
and
nope.
death.
Shut up. What
Then
do we
you
want?
drag us.
No,
then
no,
you
you're not
drag us
answering
through
my
this escapade.
question. You're not
You are
answering my
answering
question,
the
no.
question.
Sheriff, this is not good communication. I'm asking
Chubbs
you a
will-
question.
Chubbs will hop over onto Comrade's shoulder.
Oh.
Now, you've never seen Chubbs leave Eris's person. Hey, want to see something cool? Yes. He'll hop down. On his way down, he'll land on the belt, hit a button, and hop away.
Oh, Mr. Jones.
The belt begins violently humming,
The skeleton takes
and it appears to be emitting light.
The skeleton takes a 5-foot step back.
I would like to catch Mr. Chubbs as he jumps off the belt.
Oh, Mr. Jones.
Trust me, it'll be worth it.
Do we
Just
step
Been
away?
a really
or-
cool pose.
As
The noise has
Bask in
become
the
deafening.
wreckage.
It's like it sounds like an aircraft taking off.
Oh, like this.
Oh, come on, jetpack belt.
Percy runs away.
Goodbye, Percy. Run into the burning buildings. Sorry.
No,
Be
it's
free.
Freeze launches into a
be free to
burning.
become bacon. Yeah.
Be free, become
No.
bacon, become slow roasted.
Detroit becomes slow roast.
No, the
No.
poor pig. Oh, he ran outside of the thing, didn't he? Fuck, dude.
No, you can still get him. Those barriers are off.
Oh, right, they are. Okay, I'll
Get
go
him.
see if I can
Let me
catch him.
quickly fetch something for you.
Yeah, don't let that
noises-
capitalist pig escape.
We just pop this down here.
Uh-oh.
As the communist is engulfed in flames.
Oh, no. What's
Uh,
happening?
I will instinctively
Course.
move back as I will feel like I'm melting.
Mr. Jones, you shouldn't move. I don't like fire.
I'm desperately scrambling to try and find any bread in my pockets.
Oh, you're gonna toast the bread?
Nice and toasty.
The skeleton goes for a look at the reed.
I can't. My fucking head hurts. My fucking head hurts.
Even the ghost can feel the heat.
Oh, fuck.
As I get to give something over to the control of our good friend here. If I can just controlled and edited by Commie Mark
Hmm.
in all players' journals.
Commune writer. Krishnikov.
Oh, that's good.
Bruh.
Delete that for you. You, what, comrade? You are dressed like a twat.
Dun dun. You're just like a bug.
Dressed like a legend.
Oh, yeah. Let's really drink this in, shall we? I typed in "Comrade Communism" and this is what came up. Yes, the flag is always there.
That's funny.
Obviously.
It's like one of those like fucking capes, like holograms just floating always behind him.
It's the scarf.
Really bad toy special effects.
Oh, it looks like shit. It's like it's full on 1970s Toei like special effects. But
just
you
attention.
feel a lot stronger.
The skeleton, the ghost, will look back at the reef. This is what we're dealing with. This is what we've been dealing with since we've been let out the sword.
Cool fit, Mark. It suits you.
I would.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Oh, thank you, guys. You want some fit?
It's been nice and toasted now.
With a jingle, with a quick closing jingle of animals flee, stones break, only men endure.
Just mentally imagining his theme song being sung by Yakuchi, the singer from RX. It's just blaring Russian music.
Yes.
Fear, pain.
Red.
Hang on, let me see if I can get it working.
While you do that, do I manage to catch Sir Percy before he squeals off?
Eris will beckon for Percy. She has double charisma towards him.
Let's see if I can get this on the bot as our closing thing, because if I can.
Yeah.
Make sure.
Quickly, yeah.
That's the extended version for some reason.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to find an extension of that meme. I don't think anybody did the full theme song.
Good times. That's about as much as we can get away with playing the Cougar theme, to be honest.
Yeah.
If we play any more than that, we'll get shit canned by Toei. Those guys are litigious.
Yeah.
What if
We
you
might
play
still
the
get shit
same
canned
part
for
over
that
and
shit
over?
post.
Bill, you can get shit canned even if you're using something that was made from their properties, like Big Bag Little Works.
No.
They're extremely litigious.
No, it's kind of this way.
We
Oh.
will be held liable for our uses of media.
It's fair use. I stole it fair and square.
Exactly.
I will go into the stats of what this does at a later date. However, I'll say this. Comrade, you feel significantly stronger.
I can tell. I can feel it pulsing through my veins and that. Like I'm ready to.
You can see, you
Go
even
on,
have like the Soviet Olympics, like two-stripe Adidas.
That's
Hell yeah.
liquid gluten through his veins. It's just bread flowing through his veins. Gluten talk.
I hate to break this to you, but you're not getting an upgrade until I can get a cosmonaut themed suit, so I can just give you the space motif. But
Just use Force on him.
I'm not using Force. It doesn't fit the theme. It's too sleek. You need a piece of shit cosmonaut suit. But
I mean, you could always use the Magnum form. That fucking thing was a piece of shit.
Nah, not bootleg enough. Anyway, yes, like you found yourself on the receiving end of a henshin belt, I'm afraid, Mark. These belts essentially allow you to operate as a henshin hero class of a certain level. In this case, I believe it's a level 5.
Oh damn.
Dang.
That's pretty
Yeah.
good.
A level higher than party level so far.
Mm-hmm.
It has a set moveset, however. Though this model does not have any motif abilities yet. Essentially, think of it as a fancy suit.
Yeah, just like a power suit. I don't have a motorbike or anything yet.
No, sadly not.
The skeleton.
I'm sure
and
it's
the
that.
ghost, the skeleton and the ghost try to reaffirm control of the conversation.
The reef will say, no, you ain't coming back from that. I've seen an act of. I've seen some weird shit in my time, but this really does take the cake. I need a minute.
You need some
Take
of
your
that
time.
self-jar
Give him a
fresh.
Give him a crowbar. Say welcome to the
I
revolution.
don't think you don't even like toss it to him. You just throw it in his direction. It just kind of collides off of his stony face.
Cool. Eris will offer.
But not like hard enough to be an injury, more like just enough to be inconvenient.
Both the skeleton and the ghost will just comfort him and rub his back, and also try to tend to what possible wound could have come from the crowbar. This is what we've been dealing.
Can we get an edit of this where he's throwing a crowbar?
True, that would be based.
Which is something past the booth.
It's the lady that throws the rat.
It's like the rat throwing me with a crowbar.
It's either like the rat or the horny privileges vibe check pass thing.
Yeah, that kind of thing. It's like it's badly overlaid in the foreground.
But as they try to fucking console him, this is what we've been dealing with the entire fucking time. The entire fucking time.
Haven't. Eris will yell over. This is worse.
Oh, you're admitting it's better.
Well, we were better beforehand, but you're kind of forcing our hand, you see. Still haven't answered my question.
Because you still won't listen.
Well, because you're
Reeve is going to extricate himself from the situation and hop this fence.
Just tries to runs away. I can understand why something really weird just happened.
Yeah, well, I'm moving cities. I'm moving to Wanville.
Sorry.
I
I'll meet you in like a month or two.
On that note, boys and girls, that very autistic note, we will reconvene next week for the drunk stream.
Poached us. Sorry, that's scary.
I forgot, yeah, there's a bunch of icons that have got like multiple allowances for shit.
No, it's just Mark just suddenly approached our location.
Yeah, because
I just didn't expect it.
It's all gone Pete Tom. That's it.
I feel bad for the sheriff. He'll need therapy.
Yeah. Won't we all, though?
Therapy for doing that voice for that long, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
But, I've been told to send it to Captain, who's also our local Photoshop editor, artist. But,
on that note,
I hope everyone's had a good time. It's been a wonderful evening.
It's been an interesting evening for sure.
We'll reconvene next week for Libation Day, where we're all going to be. I'll be there answering questions, giving like ideas. If people have got like character ideas they want to realize, I'll help them sort it out. And we'll be shitposting fairly violently.
Yes.
Emphasis on violence. And we'll see you all then. Those of you who are only down the clan with the actual plot line will be reconvened the week thereafter. For I do believe we'll be going on party allowing. We'll have a little bit of downtime organisation to get people prepared, and we'll go in for the. There will be a dungeon crawl of some fashion, no matter what, pretty much no matter what the situation calls for. Going into the next sequence in earnest after the arson arc, with the breakup of next week's Libation Day. I hope to see you all then. I hope you'll join us.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Alabashan.
Bye.